This page is the cover of SEGA Saturn magazine, dated October 9, 1998, Volume 28. The main headlines excitedly announce features on the new Naomi arcade board and its connection to the upcoming Dreamcast, discussing how the game experience will change. There is also extensive coverage of current SEGA Saturn titles. The cover art features a cheerful anime girl dressed as a maid, holding a tray with what looks like a drink and some food. Featured games and topics highlighted include a thorough guide section covering titles like Idol Janshi Tsuchipai, Lovely, Mobile Battleship Nadesico, The Blank of 3 Years, Shining Force 2I Scenario 3, and The Legend of Heroes I and II. There's also special Dreamcast news focusing on games such as Pen Pen Tricelon and Godzilla Generations. Additional features mention Sagata Sanshiro Shinken Yugi and Real Mahjong Adventure. Into the Ocean Summer Waltz. The magazine promises a deep dive into these autumn Saturn titles. This page features striking anime artwork showcasing characters from Mobile Battleship Nadesico, The Blank of 3 Years, a SEGA Saturn title mentioned on the previous cover. Front and center is the highly popular character Ruri Hoshino, with her distinctive long pale hair and serene expression. Behind her stand Captain Yurika Misumaru, identifiable by her blue hair and hat, depicted with a lively smile, and Akito Tenkawa, wearing a red and orange outfit. The vertical Japanese text on the left is a quote associated with Ruri, translating to, "Since I'm a bit of an adult." This tagline captures the essence of Ruri's character, known for her maturity despite her young age. The artwork serves to highlight the game's appeal through its memorable cast. This page features the SEGA Saturn adventure game, Mobile Battleship Nadesico, The Blank of 3 Years. The prominent artwork shows key characters from the series, including a partially shown Ruri Hoshino on the left, Captain Yurika Misumaru in the center, and Akito Tenkawa on the right. The main tagline reads, "There was a sequel to that last scene," hinting at the game's plot. The game is described as a completely original story for the SEGA Saturn, picking up after the final episode of the TV anime and bridging the gap towards the movie, exploring the mysterious 3-year blank period. A notable point is the introduction of an original character named Labio, designed by the series' original character concept artist, Sukehiro Tomomiya. The game is a 2-disc Cardrom adventure title, available for 6,800 yen. It also includes a bonus CD single featuring 3 original songs from the game. Several small screenshots show scenes from the adventure gameplay. SEGA Saturn magazine, October 9, 1998, Volume 28, features a cover story on the synergy between the Dreamcast and SEGA's new arcade board, Naomi. This article, starting on page 77, promises an exclusive look at how Naomi's capabilities will impact the Dreamcast, blurring the lines between arcade and home gaming. Dedicated Dreamcast sections offer further updates, including game features for Pen Pen Tricelon, Secrets Revealed, and Godzilla Generations, developer interviews. Additionally, the magazine includes a thorough strategy special section on page 17. This section provides in-depth guides for several SEGA Saturn titles released that autumn, like Welcome to Pia Carrot 2 and Mobile Battleship Nadesico. Anime artwork, possibly from Pia Carrot, accompanies the guides. This issue of SEGA Saturn magazine features a special report on the Sagata Sanshiro film site and his game, Sagata Sanshiro Shinken Yugi. Other highlights include previews of Real Mahjong Adventure, To the Sea Summer Waltz, Strikers 1945-2, and Capcom Generation Volume 3, with reviews of Winning Post 3 Program 98 and the King of Fighters Best Collection. The Game Index provides coverage of numerous titles, including Shining Force 2, Scenario 3, Ice Fortress of God, Slayers Royal 2, The Legend of Heroes 1 and 2, and more. Regular sections cover news, reader content, developer spotlights, Capcom SNK, arcade previews, Shock Troopers 2nd Squad, Beat Mania 3rd Mix, and Cyber Troopers Virtualon. Dreamcast previews, including Godzilla Generations and Pen Pen Tricelon, also make an appearance, linking to previous issues. The cover art is from Welcome to Pia Carrot 2. This page reports on major developments for the Dreamcast console. Notably, SNK, a powerful developer known for its fighting games, is entering the Dreamcast market. Their first title is announced as a version of the King of Fighters, specifically based on the arcade hit King of Fighters 98, which will be remade to take full advantage of the Dreamcast's graphical capabilities with enhanced animation and visuals. The article features images of KOF characters like Iori Yagami and screenshots of the game, along with a photo of the SNK company building. It also touches upon potential data linkage between the Dreamcast version of KOF and the Neo Geo Pocket, highlighting the portable system, which is also receiving a KOF title. Another significant piece of news covers the Sonic Adventure Production announcement event. Sega held this event in Tokyo, and a video capturing approximately 30 minutes of the presentation is being made available for mail-order purchase. The page includes artwork of Sonic the Hedgehog and photos from the event itself. Finally, there's a note about Sega of America ramping up Dreamcast development for the US launch, focusing on online features and e-commerce, led by key personnel. This page reports on the major events from the recent AM show, focusing on Sega's groundbreaking announcement of their new arcade board, Naomi. This powerful hardware is presented as the future standard for arcades, with playable demos like the highly anticipated Zombie Blaster The House of the Dead 2 already impressing attendees. Other titles like Dynamite Baseball 98 and Blood Bullet are also in the pipeline, and notably, major developers like Capcom are joining the platform. Sega also showed off the impressive Star Wars Trilogy arcade on their existing Model 3 board. The report also touches upon other manufacturers' new titles shown at the event, including Namco's Rave Racer and Gunman Wars, Konami's popular music titles Beat Mania 2DX and Beat Mania 3rd Mix, and Capcom's 3D fighter tech Romancer. Classic series returns were highlighted with Gradius IV from Konami and Ray Crisis from Taito, running on Taito's new netboard, alongside Psikyo's shooting game Gunbarage. Elsewhere, the page features the finals of the Cybertroopers Virtualon Oratorio Tangram National Tournament, showcasing the intense competitive scene. Finally, there's exciting news for PC gamers. Sakura Wars, the beloved adventure series, is coming to PC after a successful accessory collection release, promising enhanced visuals tailored for PC monitors. This page reports on a massive event demonstrating corporate support for Sega's upcoming Dreamcast console. The CSK Group, Sega's parent company, held a family festival at Yomiuri Land, attended by around 5,000 employees and executives, including prominent figures like Krisk's chairman and Sega's Bernie Stolar, months before the Dreamcast's Japanese launch. The event was a full-scale promotion, featuring the Dreamcast logo on everything from clothing and flags to an impressive airship, showcasing the entire group's commitment to the new hardware. Mascots like Sonic and Tails were also on hand, highlighting the family-friendly aspect. The page also includes a brief overview of the CSK Group's structure, noting its wide range of tech companies including Sega. Additionally, there's a section highlighting various music releases, featuring singles and albums from popular artists, and a soundtrack for a PC game, rounding out the page with general entertainment news. This page is dedicated to book reviews and guides useful for Sega Saturn users, covering strategy guides, lore books, and related publications. At the top, there's a list of popular books, perhaps a sales ranking, which includes guides for hits like Sakura Taisen 2, Sakura Wars 2, and Black/Matrix, alongside a novel and art book, potentially related to games using classical music themes like Baroque and Rondo. The main feature highlights Slayer's Royal 2, reviewing and comparing two different strategy guides for the game. It points out that one guide, likely by MediaWorks, focuses more on strategy and the game system, while the other, from Fujimi Shobo, emphasizes visuals like character art and event screens. The reviewer suggests both are helpful for tackling the game. The bottom section previews several other books. These include strategy guides for the dating/simulation game Ojo-sama Tokyu, and the life simulation title Dream Generation, noting the latter's useful charts for managing romance and work. There's also a guide for simulation RPG Tsukuru, showing how to create your own RPGs, and a detailed world guidance book, delving into the unique lore and art of the game Baroque. Finally, the page touches on books about collecting, featuring a guide to arcade prize games from '98, and a comprehensive encyclopedia of trading cards based on popular Bishoujo characters from games like Duke Yusei and Eve the Lost One. This page features the SEGA Saturn Magazine data station, presenting the weekly shop data top 15 soft sales ranking. It's a snapshot of what SEGA Saturn owners were buying this particular week. Topping the charts is Slayer's Royal 2, holding the number 1 spot. Following closely at number 2 is Bach and Rotar, and coming in third is Pro Baseball Greatest 998 Summer Action. Lunar 2, Eternal Blue is solidifying its place at number 4, and Oju-sama wo Narai rounds out the top 5. The list continues with other notable titles, like Super Robot Wars F at number 6, Mobile Suit Gundam, Giran's Ambition at number 7, and Deep Fear at number 8. Shining Force 2, I Scenario 2 holds 9th place, and High School Terra Story is 10th. Lower down you'll find titles like Momotaro Densu, Neon Genesis Evangelion, Girlfriend of Steel, Castlevania, Symphony of the Night, Dracula X, The House of the Dead, and The King of Fighters 97. The ranking includes estimated weekly and cumulative sales figures for each game, though the main takeaway is the order itself. The commentary notes there were no major new releases this week, leading to a relatively stable ranking compared to the previous week. Sales figures might be slightly lower across the board, but players are advised to save up because some exciting, must-have titles are coming at the end of October. The page also features small screenshots for many of the ranked games, giving a visual peek at the gameplay. The SEGA Saturn user data reveals player anticipation for upcoming software. Topping the hopeful new soft top 30 is Welcome to Piacaret 2, boasting 371 points, followed by Sakura Wars Taigeki Graph with 293 points, and Virtual Callus in third with 264 points. Screenshots accompany each game, illustrating their appeal. Other notable titles include No Kale 3 at 15th, and Sagata Sanshiro Shinken Yugi at 17th, the latter based on the popular Sagata Sanshiro commercials. The list includes a variety of other games from 4th to 30th place, like Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, Resident Evil 2, cancelled, Dungeons & Dragons Collection, and others. The commentary highlights Sakura Wars Taigeki Graph and Sagata Sanshiro as must-play titles for Saturn owners. This page presents a comprehensive SEGA Saturn release schedule, giving gamers a look at what's coming up. It starts with a handy guide to game genres and compatible peripherals, from joysticks and mice to expansion RAM and the movie card. The core of the page is the release list itself, detailing games slated for October, November, December, and beyond into winter and 1998. You can see anticipated titles from the previous page's poll showing up here, like Welcome to Piacaret 2 and Virtual Call S. The schedule is packed with a mix of genres, including fighting games like Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, RPGs, simulations, and adventure games. It's a solid overview of the Saturn's upcoming lineup, though some dates are still listed as undecided. This page is all about the SEGA Saturn Magazine's weekly readers' race, volume 111. This is where the readers have their say. It's a ranking of all released Saturn games, based on the cumulative average scores given by everyone who votes. It's updated every week, so the rankings are always shifting based on new opinions. The main feature is the extensive list, covering hundreds of games ranked from number 1 all the way down. You can see each game's current rank, where it was last week, the full title, genre, and its average score based on reader votes. It's a fantastic snapshot of what the Saturn community is loving right now. A highlight this week is Black/Matrix, which made a huge leap, jumping from 113th place last week all the way up to 62nd. The magazine points out its popular characters and asks if it can climb even higher. There's a screenshot showing its strategic battle system, which is part of its appeal. It's clear the readers are actively participating and influencing the scores. This page from SEGA Saturn Magazine presents reader-ranked game scores from 271 to 387. It spotlights new releases, beginning with New Confrontation Horse Racing Introduction. Wipeout XL, praised for its futuristic racing and high reader score of 9.1538, contrasts with the magazine's 7.0. Capcom Generation Volume 1. The Age of the Aces receives positive feedback for its compilation of shooters, though graphics and difficulty are noted. Slayers Royal 2, an RPG, divides opinions. Fans enjoy its Slayers feel, but some find the gameplay cumbersome. New Single-Hole Horse Racing Introduction reviews Initial D, SEGA Saturn, which captures the anime's atmosphere but suffers from poor gameplay, and SEGA Ages. Memorial Selection Volume 2, a compilation of classic Sega games, appreciated for its nostalgic appeal. The next page continues the reader-ranked game scores for SEGA Saturn titles. It presents a multi-column list, covering rankings from the high 300s down into the 700s. For each game, The list provides its title, genre, and the average score given by readers. This section of the rankings features a wide variety of titles, including platformers like Three Dirty Dwarves, fighting games such as Battle Monsters and Wing Arms, RPGs like Albert Odyssey, Legend of Eldian and Shining Wisdom, and various Japanese exclusive titles spanning genres from shooters and adventure games to puzzle and simulation titles. The scores generally reflect games that were less popular or received lower average ratings compared to titles found higher up in the rankings. Accompanying the list is a block of commentary presented as a conversation between characters, potentially editors or mascots, named Shota, Naomi, and Logos. They discuss the ranking results, adding a personal touch to the data presentation. This section highlights the ongoing reader participation in ranking the console's extensive library. This page delves into reader-ranked SEGA Saturn game scores, highlighting the adventure title Himitsu Sentai Metamol V. This game, released in April 1998, earned high marks from readers and reviewers for its engaging story and unique gameplay. Players control a team of transforming heroines who battle evil, changing enemies' hearts using special moves. The game's Alice system allows for multiple endings based on player choices. Metamol vs. emulates a TV anime, with opening sequences and previews, immersing players in its narrative. The game features a story-driven experience by creator Yoichi Ito, with memorable characters, comparable to series like Sailor Moon. Readers recommend the game for its character interactions and satisfying moments. The developers emphasized human connection and emotion in its creation. The page also briefly mentions the upcoming The House of the Dead 2 announcement. This page offers a mix of SEGA Saturn news and reader engagement. It previews upcoming Saturn games, including Saturn Music School 2, Backgainers, Zanshin, Oogie Valharian, and Druid Quest for the Dark. Reader feedback includes console repair needs and mentions of other games. There's anticipation for the Tokyo Game Show, highlighting Saturn and Dreamcast titles. A reader-voted ranking of Saturn peripherals, like the Virtual Stick Pro, is featured. The page also announces reader contests, such as predicting game rankings, and scores for titles like Suikoden, Mobile Battleship Nadesico, and Digital Monster Verdot's Digimon Tamers. Readers are encouraged to submit reviews and predictions for prizes, including Saturn hardware and software. This page announces the upcoming release of a book focused on the game development studio, Red Company. It's titled Making of Red Company, and promises to unveil the history of the creators behind some truly memorable titles. Fans of games like the Far East of Eden series, Sakura Wars, and Chaumashin Ayuden Wataru will definitely want to check this out. The book covers everything from the company's founding right up to their latest projects, featuring interviews with key figures like creator Hiroi Uji. It dives into nostalgic items, their creative process, representative members, characters, and even includes what's described as a Red Company Encyclopedia. Essentially, it's designed to be a comprehensive look at everything Red Company, packed into 2 full-color pages. It's scheduled for release this autumn and is a joint production with SoftBank, priced at 1,300 yen. The visual features two prominent figures, likely key members including Hiroi Uji, superimposed over a collage of traditional Japanese imagery that perfectly captures the unique aesthetic found in many of their games. This page kicks off a special feature focusing on thorough strategy guides for exciting SEGA Saturn titles arriving this autumn. The main heading proudly declares, Complete Strategy Guide Special. It highlights a selection of notable games players should be looking forward to or diving into. Featured within this section are deep dives into games, including the visual novel Welcome to Pia 2, the mecha adventure Martian successor Nadesico, The Blank of 3 Years, the tactical RPG Shining Force, 2i Scenario 3, The Ice Wall of the Evil God's Palace, the adventure title Backgainer, Frozen City, the RPG compilation, The Legend of Heroes 1 and 2, and the strategy RPG Slayers Royal 2. The page is visually dominated by an illustration of a character from the Welcome to Pia series, depicted in a maid uniform and holding a tray laden with tempting desserts. This character art serves as an inviting preview for the detailed coverage of these highly anticipated SEGA Saturn games. The guide promises a comprehensive analysis of these key titles. This page continues the comprehensive feature on Welcome to Pia 2, serving as part 2 of the guide. Published approximately 2 weeks ahead of the game's release, it moves beyond the general overview provided previously to offer in-depth strategy. The focus here is specifically on how players can build relationships and become close with the game's heroines, breaking down the process from the start. The article emphasizes that it's packed with useful information vital for playing the game effectively. The page is anchored by a dynamic central illustration of one of the heroines in a maid outfit, depicted flying on a broom. Surrounding this are various screenshots and character art, showcasing other heroines and scenes from the game, including a dialogue snippet identifying the character Tomomi. This is clearly designed to be a valuable resource for anyone looking to fully experience the romantic possibilities within Welcome to Pia Carrot 2. The next page continues the comprehensive guide to Welcome to Pia Carrot 2, starting with the fundamental question: what kind of game is Pia Carrot anyway? It describes the game as a family restaurant love adventure, released on PC in '95, and this sequel, the second in the series, was released in December of the previous year on this platform. The setting is the second Pia Carrot store, distinct from the first. The player takes a summer part-time job there on a friend's recommendation and encounters many potential romantic interests. Success hinges on utilizing chances to build relationships and developing your own charm. A special section highlights Tomomi, featured on the cover, detailing her character design overseen by Takashi Hashimoto of Cocktail Soft, noting her creation was based on the concept of a small devilish girl. Key game specifications are also listed, including it being a simulation adventure from NEC Interchannel, recommended for ages 18+, released on 2 CD-ROMs on October 8 for 7,200 yen, supporting expanded RAM and cartridge compatibility. This page provides a solid foundation for understanding the game's premise and mechanics for getting closer to the heroines. This page provides a breakdown of the actual gameplay loop in Welcome to Pia Carrot 2, specifically focusing on how to utilize the limited free time on weekdays before heading to your part-time job. As the main character is tied up with work for much of the day, the morning hours are crucial for building relationships. The main commands allow you to manage your time effectively. You can move to various locations like the station or park to hopefully meet girls and increase their affection towards you. You can also focus on self-improvement through rest to recover your physical condition, study to boost your academic ability, or go jogging to increase your stamina, making you less susceptible to fatigue. The call command is essential for connecting with heroines you might not be able to meet in person before work. Beyond these core actions, subcommands offer vital information and utility. The data command lets you check heroine profiles and track your progress in the story, providing insights into how you're doing. You can also access an item menu to use any items you've acquired, some of which might influence your actions or stats. Finally, the system menu covers standard functions like saving and loading your game, as well as adjusting settings. Using these commands wisely within the tight schedule is key to success in getting closer to the girls. Screenshots demonstrate locations like the game center and character data screens. This page continues the explanation of the gameplay loop in Welcome to Pia Carrot 2. It focuses heavily on the part-time job, which is the main way to improve your character's parameters and unlock special events. The job you choose directly impacts which stats increase. Different jobs like waiter, cashier, cooking, cleaning, and warehouse management boost parameters such as appearance, guts, physical strength, and academic ability. There's also a dislike parameter, which is best kept low as it negatively affects relationships. A key strategic element is deciding your weekly work shift every Thursday night. This decision can significantly influence your ability to interact with specific heroines, as shifts, once set, cannot be changed. You need to think carefully about your schedule to maximize opportunities. Beyond the work itself, the page highlights the importance of approaching characters on your way home after your shift, as this provides a chance for valuable conversations you might miss otherwise. Finally, a section questions the most important parameter, highlighting that while kindness is crucial and often grows naturally through events, appearance is also surprisingly critical and requires focused effort, often suggesting buying information magazines at the station to boost it. Screenshots show characters performing different jobs and the shift selection screen. This guide provides a schedule for Welcome to Pia Carrot 2, detailing a month-long part-time job experience. It outlines key dates from July 27th to August 28th, including the welcome party, shift decision days, and character introductions. Specific events, like the Kaoru-chan Lost Child event, around August 5th or 7th, and the Sea Trip from August 13th to 15th, crucial for character relationships, are highlighted. The Sea Trip involves Asuka, Mihoko, Ryoko, Aoi, and Tsukasa, while the training trip, Hot Springs, from August 24th to 26th, is also significant. The guide emphasizes the importance of strategic planning to trigger specific events and advance character routes, illustrated with screenshots. Quote, "This page continues the guide for Welcome to Pia Carrot 2, focusing on events later in August and providing general tips. A section covering August 15th to 17th details character encounters during specific events like the Summer Day Festival and Comic-It, listing which heroines can be met at each. It notes that failing to meet a character at these points likely indicates insufficient affection. Moving to August 24th to 26th, the guide discusses the end of summer training trip, explaining that the heroine with the highest affection will approach you first, serving as a good indicator of your progress. It also touches upon a potentially revealing peeping event on the night of the 24th, acknowledging its presence without emphasizing specific benefits. The page concludes with crucial general advice for tackling the game, which is heavily reliant on raising a single heroine's affection. It explicitly warns against trying to pursue multiple characters at once, stating that it will likely lead to failure. A key technical point highlighted is the significant save data requirement, advising players to ensure they have 144 blocks free on their backup cartridge to avoid losing progress, reinforcing this with a warning screenshot. It also clarifies that the event dates provided in the guide are merely reference points, as actual event timing can shift by a few days based on gameplay progression. The bottom left previews detailed individual character guides to come on the following pages. To romance Hinomori Azusa in Welcome to Pia Carrot 2, the guide stresses persistence. Initially aloof, Azusa requires consistent interaction, especially before and after part-time work and in the mornings. The key is to act based on her desires. Critical events include avoiding her on August 4th at the station, hearing her locket story during the beach trip, expressing feelings on July 27th, and attending specific dates, such as August 14th when she smiles, and August 17th. Being a waiter is important for an August 11th event, and misunderstandings arise on August 22nd. Azusa values appearance and kindness most in a boyfriend, with moderate importance on perseverance and academics. Success depends on diligently following these specific event triggers. This page provides a comprehensive guide for romancing Hinomori Mina, Azusa's younger sister, in Welcome to Pia Carrot 2. Mina is portrayed as a sweet, slightly spoiled girl in her early teens who adores the protagonist, often referring to him as Big Brother. Her ideal type is a kind person. To get close to Mina, the guide emphasizes demonstrating kindness. Unlike Azusa, Mina does not live in the dorms, making frequent phone calls a crucial step to raising her affection. While part-time work as a waiter is generally suitable, a minor adjustment might be needed for a specific event related to Kyoruchen. The guide also notes that a moderate level of academic skill is required for her route, urging players to study diligently, especially early on. Her ideal partner attributes are listed, highlighting appearance, kindness, perseverance, and physical strength as very important, with academics being moderately important. The page details several key events crucial for her route, including the initial meeting at the station on July 30th, various study groups, a part-time work conversation on August 11th, a beach trip event on August 14th involving crabs, and an event during the training trip on August 25th. Screenshots accompanying the text show Mina in a maid uniform, at the beach/pool, studying, and during the training trip, illustrating key moments in her story. Successfully triggering these events based on the guide is essential for progressing with Mina. To win Ryoko Futaba's affection in Pia Carrot, focus on her. She's the manager, trusted yet prone to overwork. Visit her room every Tuesday, her day off. Help at the store without hindering her on August 10th. Attend the after-work party on August 1st and respect her. Assist with overtime on August 11th. A pool date on August 5th requires high physical strength. Handle the Drunken Ryoko event on August 16th. Working part-time improves appearance and perseverance. Morning study boosts academics. She values appearance, kindness, perseverance, academics, and, significantly, physical strength. Key events are illustrated by screenshots, showcasing interactions in her room, at work, at the pool, and during parties. This page focuses on Aoi Minace, described as the reliable, cheerful big sister in Pia Carrot, though she has a hidden side. She's seen as having adult charm and a cheerful, friendly personality, making her easy to approach. Her ideal man preferences are strict for appearance and kindness, prioritize perseverance in academics, and greatly value physical strength. The strategy guide suggests that getting closer to a toyoi requires meeting and talking frequently. She often visits the protagonist's room with beer. Participation in the evening banquets is essential. A key event is accompanying her to the parlor on August 4th. If this doesn't happen, it indicates insufficient conversation. Raising appearance by buying a magazine before the station is recommended. Key events shown include a screenshot related to the August 1st banquet invitation, asking about her opinion. Another depicts a conversation related to August 10th morning, questioning if someone is the culprit. A third shows her heading to the parlor on August 4th. And a fourth is from the August 16th event where she mends a button. The final two events relate to the manager's wedding story on August 9th during part-time work, and the Each Person's Resolve event after work on August 20th, where A2I makes a decision. Overall, the guide emphasizes consistent interaction and participating in specific events to build the relationship. This page covers Tsukasa Enomoto, introduced as a girl who's like a bundle of energy. She arrives at the main branch on August 4th and is the last waitress to appear. Before her arrival, you can prepare by going to the game center to get plushies or buying fashion magazines to boost your appearance stat. Once she arrives, visiting her room and understanding her hobbies are key to getting closer. Her ideal man preferences are strict for appearance and kindness, but simply require attention for perseverance, academics, and physical strength. For status boosts, the guide recommends working the waiter shift for appearance, although cashier can help with academics. Several key events are highlighted. On August 6th morning, you can guide her around town and visit the game center, leading to a fighting game match where it's suggested to let her win. On August 8th morning, another trip to the game center reveals her hidden gaming talent. By August 8th afternoon, having 3 plushies allows you to give them to her, triggering a happy event. The Cosplay Queen contest at Comiket on August 17th morning is a major event where a special CG is unlocked if your appearance stat is high enough, over 7. We also see events like Trouble with Customers during a waiter shift on August 7th, and a dramatic event on August 8th after work involving harsh words that wound her. This page features Sanae Inishi, highlighting her positive and hardworking nature. Her kind and warm personality makes pursuing a relationship with her relatively straightforward. The initial strategy involves setting your part-time job shifts to match hers, always talking to her after work, and making morning calls between July 29th and August 5th. This leads to learning a secret on August 6th afternoon, after which you should switch your morning routine to jogging with her. Sanae's ideal man preferences are broad for appearance, kindness, and academics, but she strictly checks for perseverance and physical strength. Fortunately, these latter two stats are easily raised by consistently doing the dishwashing shift and jogging. Key events are presented chronologically. July 29th morning, calling her early results and being cut off, setting up a later event. August 7th morning. Following the setup event on the 6th, you can start jogging together, reinforcing the idea that perseverance is key. August 11th morning. Continuing the daily jogging builds a comfortable atmosphere, leading her to open up and show her bare face, shortening the distance between you. August 13th afternoon. The first date occurs during the Oban holiday, involving a water slide. The guide cautions against expressing sympathy and advises patience. August 23rd, part-time dishwashing. While doing her best, Sanae suddenly collapses. You choose to visit her instead of going on a training trip. August 24th morning. Following her collapse, you visit her room, and this is the moment to honestly convey your feelings. This page focuses on Shinohara Mikiko, an aspiring manga artist whose dream brought her to Tokyo. Building a relationship with her starts with connecting at the Carrot part-time job, specifically by taking the waiter shifts to maximize interaction. To be her ideal man, Mikiko places high importance on perseverance and academic ability, while being more flexible on appearance, kindness, and physical strength, so players should focus on raising those specific stats. The guide outlines key events crucial for progression, starting with witnessing her intense argument with an editor on August 6th, followed by the importance of viewing things objectively on the 8th. By August 10th, you can assist her and begin visiting her workplace. Later, on August 13th, you might get a surprising greeting. The Comiket event on August 16th is a major turning point, and navigating the challenges that arise after Comiket, particularly around August 20th, is also highlighted. These events are depicted with screenshots showing Mikiko in various situations related to her work and daily life, guiding players through the path to winning her heart. This page details the path to a forbidden love with Yamana Haru, a young married woman introduced via her daughter, Kaoru-chan. Haru prioritizes kindness most highly in an ideal partner, while being more flexible on other traits. The relationship begins on August 5th with the Kaoru-chan lost child commotion. Taking care of the child yourself is a vital choice. Frequent visits to the park are key for progression. Highlighted events include a formal greeting on the 6th, helping Kaoru-chan bathe on the 10th, and an event around the 13th involving seeing them off after a holiday, possibly featuring homemade food as shown. A critical moment occurs on the 17th at dusk in the park, where Haru shares a shocking revelation, leading to the Day of Destiny on August 21st. On this day, a surprising visitor appears during your part-time job, requiring you to leave. The guide stresses maintaining good physical condition and recommends waiter shifts to boost appearance, aiding in successfully navigating Haru's unique route, which is illustrated with various screenshots showing Haru and Kaoru-chan. This page introduces Aizawa Tomomi, one of the heroines from a SEGA Saturn title, focusing on her route in the game. Tomomi is a middle school student who dreams of wearing the uniform of the store, Carrot. Her daily routine during summer vacation revolves around visiting Carrot, hoping for a chance to work there and wear the uniform, which is the catalyst for meeting the protagonist. Her preferred partner should prioritize kindness and physical strength, while also looking closely at persistence and academic ability. Her route involves frequently taking cleaning shifts at Carrot, as this is how she initially connects with the protagonist. Key events are scheduled throughout August. On the 5th, there's an emotional encounter at the store where the protagonist helps her. The 11th involves an interaction with her friends, Yuki and Noriko, though the significance is unclear at the time. The 9th details meeting her concerning older brother and dealing with potentially awkward questions. A pool date is set for the 15th. The guide suggests raising physical strength to impress her at the diving board. On the 10th, after obtaining her phone number, the protagonist calls and is invited to her room. Finally, an event on the 20th deals with the aftermath of an incident from the 18th, where Tomomi expresses her feelings. Screenshots show Tomomi in different scenarios, including wearing the cleaning uniform and at the pool. This page dives back into the world of Pia Heart Carrot 2 with a tea break section. It kicks off with an introduction from Tamaran, the resident fortune teller, who specializes in matters of the heart and offers advice on finding women's luck within the game. Next up, there's some interesting gossip. One segment asks if the manager of Store No 2, Yusuke Kinoshita, is actually the protagonist from the original Pia Heart Carrot. It mentions his name is the default hero name from the first game, and that his relationship with his fiancée started while working part-time at Carrot. There's also a note about a concerning statement from Tsukasa, a former waitress from the first store. A fun tidbit points out that characters from F&C's earlier game, Friends, are cleverly hidden among the chibi customer sprites in Pia Heart Carrot 2 scenes. Finally, there's an announcement for the Piacaro Heart Toy Box, a collection of desktop accessories and mini-games for Windows releasing on October 30th. This collection includes various simulations, fun extras, and even mahjong. Notably, it features a minigame titled Go! Go! Yusuke Kinoshita, which follows the store manager's story during a training trip, where his secrets come to light, potentially jeopardizing his upcoming wedding. This looks like a neat side dish for fans of the series. This page provides an in-depth strategy guide for Martian successor Nadesico, the blank of 3 years since. The title declares it a thorough strategy guide special, and focuses on a passionate conquest strategy of the 2 main scenarios. The guide explains that the game is structured with an introduction, prologue, and the main scenarios. The main scenario, significantly longer than the prologue, branches fundamentally into 4 paths. Crucially, relationships with the female characters play a vital role in the main scenarios, leading to different endings. The branching is determined by choices made, and the guide introduces the concept of a personality matrix, showing how the protagonist's personality changes based on decisions, influencing which scenario path is taken. Screenshots show character portraits associated with different personality types, e.g., Eureka labeled aggressive/active, Ruri labeled passive. A large table is shown, detailing the effects of player choices throughout the game. particularly focusing on how they lead to different scenes and influence the branching paths. The guide explains how to read this table, indicating that arrows show how the protagonist's personality pointer moves on the matrix and which scene or branching point is reached next. Basic game information is listed on the right, including the developer, SEGA, release status, on sale September 23rd release, price, 6,800 yen, genre, adventure, and media, 2 krdroms. It's recommended for all ages. The guide promises to fully cover the main scenarios up to the mid-game. This guide summarizes the prologue of Martian successor Nadesico, covering the period after the TV series finale. The protagonist awakens on the Nadesico and must navigate initial encounters, like choosing to eat Martian food. The prologue features branching paths, influenced by choices made during interactions with the crew, particularly with June. These choices lead to various outcomes, including combat, and ultimately, joining the Nadesico crew. The prologue is vital for uncovering clues to memory and initiating the branching paths tied to a personality matrix. Key items like a photo and a communicator watch are found here. Following the prologue, the game branches into 4 main scenarios, which are shaped by choices and personality traits during the prologue. Preceding these scenarios are events like Eureka's impersonation, Inez's diagnosis, and comedic situations. Scenario 1, The Buried Proof of Love, focuses on the love triangle between the protagonist, Eureka, and Ruri, with Irina as a potential romantic interest. Inspired by a Nadesico movie episode, the story begins with the protagonist's return to Earth. Choices influence the path, leading to varying outcomes with the risk of bad endings. The player navigates different starting points: involvement with Ruri, staying with Koichiro, or being homeless with Akito. Eureka's actions significantly impact the story. The narrative emphasizes relationship dynamics, with the protagonist often ending up back in Akito's room, interacting with key characters in various scenes. The screenshots show scenes of Ruri, intense conversations, and key characters, highlighting the emotional core of the scenario. This page explores branching scenarios in Kido Senkan Nadesico, The Blank of 3 Years, building on earlier choices. The choice effect table illustrates how decisions influence events and flags, shaping the narrative. One path leads to a bad end, involving Yorubatake's food stall. Regardless of the path, the protagonist often ends up in Akito's room, sharing the space with Akito, Eureka, and Ruri. Akito is unemployed and considers opening a ramen shop, which eventually happens with Hikaru as the first customer. A major event is Erika's marriage announcement. After seeing Gekiganger 3, the protagonist receives an envelope from Eureka, with content that shocks Ruri, hinting at a significant plot point related to the love triangle and potentially the wedding of Erika. The game's complex narrative design is evident in these interconnected scenarios, and the impact of player choices on story progression. This page provides a comprehensive guide to Scenario 2, The Legacy of the Void, in Kido Senkan Nadesico, The Blank of 3 Years. Set on Mars after the Earth-Jupiter armistice, the Nadesico crew investigates Martian ruins alongside Jupiter forces. The narrative weaves together Minato's kidnapping, time paradoxes, and the mystery of Ines's plate, creating a rich science fiction plot. The guide highlights the initial 4 romance targets, whose distinct personalities form the basis for branching events. Key moments are detailed, starting with a Dana analysis check for the protagonist and the mystery surrounding Sabaruta, whose records are missing. A dramatic night attack on Ines is covered, where Sabaruta plays a crucial role. Player choices during the preparations for the trip are critical, determining who the protagonist accompanies and influencing later events, potentially linking to the Minato kidnapping scenario. The guide also explores parallel paths involving guarding Ines or going shopping with Minato, both of which lead to experiences in a virtual room. This virtual space is where character-specific cosplay events can occur, adding a lighter touch, but only if the player isn't too serious. The game clearly emphasizes how player decisions significantly shape the story and character interactions within this complex scenario. This page continues the guide for Scenario 2, The Legacy of the Void, in Martian successor Nadesico, The Blank of 3 Years. It details several key events and player choices that shape the unfolding narrative. On the right, a comprehensive table outlines the effects of player choices, showing how selecting different options can lead to new events or alter character relationships and stats, branching the story path significantly. The page highlights the dramatic Minato kidnapping event, where she is abducted, and Izumi attempts to rescue her with a rifle before the culprits mysteriously vanish. This is followed by a countermeasure meeting, where the crew discusses the situation. Player choices here are critical, as deciding to pursue and upset Yukina, who storms out, or focusing on Interines, leads to different interactions. A crucial plot point is introduced, with Interines explaining a time-slip phenomenon related to boson jumps, a core concept in the Nadesico universe. As the journey to the ruins continues, a night at the camp offers another significant branching point based on player decisions. The page also notes unexpected encounters, such as a suspicious meeting with Izumi, and events leading to the virtual room, where further character interactions and events take place. The guide reinforces how player decisions are central to navigating this complex scenario and its various routes. This page continues the strategy guide for Martian successor Nadesico, The Blank of 3 Years, focusing on the mission to rescue Minato and crucial event triggers in Scenario 2. It details the planned hostage exchange for Minato and Ines, which is dramatically interrupted by a hostile faction utilizing Daimajin mechs, leading to combat involving the Nadesico's Estevalizes. A key branching point involves a potential bad end. During the chaos, a mysterious figure, Itubaki, appears to the protagonist, warning them about the dangerous boson jumps caused by the Daimajin. The guide explains that ignoring this warning and getting too close to the mechs will result in being caught in a boson jump and triggering a bad ending. Players are advised to heed Ituki's words and maintain distance. The page also highlights significant character interaction events triggered by using the intense gaze mechanic, which are crucial for influencing the story and relationships. These moments occur with Ines, Yukina, and Izumi, at locations like the night camp or during specific encounters. The guide advises how to focus the protagonist's attention correctly during these scenes, to alter background details, character reactions, and potentially unlock different dialogue or story paths, reinforcing the importance of character focus in the game's narrative progression. The content underscores how player decisions during interactions and key events directly impact the unfolding rescue mission and character arcs. This page delves into the world of Martian successor Nadesico, The Blank of 3 Years, first highlighting unique virtual room events. We see 4 characters in cosplay: Yukina and Minato in city virtual rooms, Ines in one handmade by Yuribatake, and, notably, Izumi in real-life cosplay, which the content points out with some amusement. Screenshots showcase Yukina in a school uniform, Izumi in a revealing outfit, and Minato in a motorcycle suit. The page then transitions to cover Scenarios 3 and 4 of this extensive sound novel. Scenario 3, titled Memories Are Beyond the Moment, sees the completion of the Nadesico B-class ship only for it to be attacked by unmanned mechs during the launch party, forcing the protagonist to gather the old crew to solve the mystery, a plot point noted for its resemblance to the movie's crew recruitment. Screenshots show the ship and characters. Scenario 4, The Distant Star You Aimed For, takes a different turn, focusing on Megumi's journey to become an idol, with the protagonist acting as her manager. This scenario promises a very different gameplay experience, exploring various relationships and the cutthroat world of idol rivalries, including a rival who resembles Itsuki. Images show Megumi in idol costumes and swimsuits, highlighting this unique storyline. The page concludes by stating that detailed strategy guides for these scenarios will be featured in the next issue. This guide focuses on strategic magic use in Shining Force 2's Scenario 3. While physical attacks matter, magic, particularly in this scenario, is key. The guide divides magic into 3 types: attack, support, and special. Attack magic employs elemental spells, blaze, freeze, spark, etc., to exploit enemy weaknesses, proving crucial against physically resistant foes. Support magic buffs allies, support, attack, and debuffs enemies, slow, confuse, with resist proving invaluable in Scenario 3. Utility spells like Antidote, Sleep, and Charm offer additional tactical advantages. Finally, special magic includes Return for escaping maps and Berserks, a risky spell that can turn enemies against each other. The guide emphasizes understanding spell effects and strategic deployment for optimal battlefield control. Shining Force 2, Scenario 3 details recovery and summon magic. Recovery spells like Heal and Aura provide HP support, while Antidote cures status ailments. Summon magic brings elemental allies like Golem and Phoenix to attack all enemies within range, Equipment can also grant magic use, expanding tactical options. Chapter 3, Battle 11, To Live for Love, sees Julian's army facing a cultist boss and Profond. The objective changes depending on Profond's fate in the previous scenario. If Profond survived Scenario 2, defeating only the cultist boss allows him to become an ally later. Enemy composition varies based on Stella's survival. Triggering specific points triggers events like a hostage situation if Stella was saved. Focus on clearing enemies near your starting position, and don't panic over Stella's recurring damage. This document details Shining Force 2's Scenario 3, focusing on Bare Soil Town and Battle 12, Pursuit. It provides a map of bare soil, highlighting key locations like shops and the church, as well as the battle's objectives, which vary based on prior actions in Battle 11. Enemy forces in Battle 12 include Pegasus Knights and Minotaurs. Detailed character profiles are given for potential allies Harold the Metal Gunner and Profond, emphasizing recruitment conditions. Advice on engaging the golden blue masked cultist bosses is included, along with warnings about General Iricule's poison attack. The guide also lists shop inventory and explains event triggers for meeting Harold, acquiring items like Power Wine and the Bare Soil Ruins map, and hints at the next battle's Red Dragon appearance. Harold, the local lord's son, joins the force. Battle 13, Father and Son, takes place in the mountain ruins. The goal is to defeat Kudan and Yasha. The map features sinking floors, requiring careful movement. Patience is key, drawing enemies out on the bridge before attacking. Beware of bare soil soldiers and, if Stella was saved, General Ecual. The enemy roster includes Kudan, Yasha, black masked cultists, ninjas, Pegasus Knights, Minotaurs, and a Red Dragon. Prioritize eliminating surrounding enemies before focusing on the bosses. Yasha, Harold's possessed father, is a powerful magic user, utilizing Spark LV3 equip units, with high resistance, or resist rings to mitigate his attacks. A Red Dragon arrives later, posing a threat to Saucer. Treasure chests contain valuable items, like the Rod of the Great Earth. Use ranged units against Yasha, and consider using Kikiops for the final blow on the Red Dragon. This page features the final installment of the strategy guide for Walkenroder, covering the endgame from round 25 through to the final boss, Vlad. It highlights that the journey is reaching its climax and provides guidance for the last 8 maps. From round 25, several characters become available again, including Georg and Leonora, adding valuable members back to the party. The guide focuses on the round 25 map, the airship hangar, describing the battle in a narrow passage. The objective is for all surviving units to reach a designated point, while failure is defined by Lucian's death. The map features a narrow bridge that must be crossed to reach the objective, with enemies strategically positioned in advantageous, elevated locations beyond it. The tactical advice suggests that taking the bridge directly is difficult and recommends using a power-based approach, potentially circling around or focusing firepower with characters like Orange and Velvet. Enemies guard the final objective, but the guide notes they can sometimes be ignored. The page also includes a character profile for Idol, describing her as a cheerful girl who doesn't let her difficult past show. The story section details the events leading up to round 25, with Helder pursuing his ambition, and Lucian and the Chemical Brothers heading to the airship hangar to chase him. Screenshots illustrate the map layout and in-game scenes from this section of the game. This page continues the strategy guide for Walkenroder, focusing on rounds 26 and 27, which take place inside the colossal railgun. Round 26 is set within the train's 2-story structure. The map is long and narrow, with elevators on both sides leading to the second floor. The objective is for all surviving party members to reach designated points, while Lucian's death results in failure. The guide suggests dividing the party into 3 groups to tackle the map's layout and utilizing the elevators, which are activated by switches. Enemies are spread out, and the advice is to approach from both upper and lower levels to scatter them, before defeating them and moving towards the objectives. The guide then covers round 27, the final battle in the deepest part of the railgun against the boss, Helder. The victory condition is defeating the boss, and failure is still Lucian's death. Characters' starting positions depend on where they finished in the previous map. For the strategy, it recommends moving as a single unit towards the boss. It specifically notes that the second-floor elevators can only carry 1 character at a time, so sending only 2 characters up is recommended. The key is to surround and defeat Helder, who waits alone. A character profile for Helder is also featured, along with story text leading into these rounds. Describing the urgency as Helder's railgun, the Wachenhof, is already active and devastating. Screenshots show the isometric map layouts and in-game battle scenes. This guide covers rounds 28 and 29 of Wachenroder. Round 28, the Castle Gate, is an uphill battle against gun-type enemies. The strategy involves immediately pushing uphill to engage Bunowo, the boss. The guide recommends clearing lower enemies, repositioning, and then attacking Bunowo from the side or back. Round 29 takes place in the palace, featuring a large open area with gun-type enemies and the boss, Walther. The strategy involves splitting forces, with one group flanking from a high position on the right and the other clearing the left side. A central skirmish force is also recommended. The guide also includes a story section detailing the attack on the capital and Lucian's investigation into the conflict, highlighting Vlad, Walder, and Bunowo. A character profile for Small is also provided. This guide section details rounds 30 and 31 of the Wachenroder strategy. Round 30, the Lab, is a close-quarters fight against 3 powerful enemies and Vlad. The recommended strategy involves using a decoy to lure enemies and then surrounding them. Vlad can be quickly defeated by attacking him from behind. Round 31 presents a pyramid map, where New Vlad is at the peak. A simultaneous 4-pronged attack is key to victory, enabling multiple units to strike at once. Additionally, the page includes a profile of Vels, a songstress whose narration contributes to the game's world. Finally, Vlad's End explores Vlad's and Durer's differing paths to similar goals, emphasizing Vlad's swift, costly pursuit of power. It ponders whether Vlad's conviction was undermined by a lack of empathy. This page features a thorough strategy guide for The Legend of Heroes In on SEGA Saturn, part of the Legend of Heroes In and 2 compilation. It kicks off by stating the guide covers the first game from start to near the end. The page provides essential techniques for players, including leveraging the escape option in battles, understanding the optimal timing for character-level UPS before clearing chapters, utilizing Joshua's Eye for navigation when lost, and emphasizing the importance of manually managing character growth rather than relying solely on automatic progression. There's also a story digest summarizing the plot of the first game. The guide then delves into the first chapter, The Prince's Journey, outlining key events in a flowchart format and providing a summary with specific advice, such as reaching level 8 and focusing on equipping properly in the town of Nipria before facing tougher enemies. Screenshots showcase the game's classic RPG interface, including world maps, battle scenes, character stats, and menus. The artwork prominently displays the game's main characters. This guide outlines Chapters 2 and 3 of The Legend of Heroes In and 2 on SEGA Saturn. Chapter 2, Silent Curse, sees players travel from Nymeria to Maskeen, battling enemies like gargoyles and Akdam. Key actions include crafting a key, rescuing Rose, and learning magic spells. Chapter 3, Royal Proof, involves boat travel to Lulfa, recruiting Sonia, and exploring diverse locations like Pirate Island and the Royal Tomb. Players will acquire the Sunstone, Gold Key, and Star of Gilmore, encountering characters such as the Flat King and Barbara. The chapter emphasizes exploration and concludes with a battle against Gilligas and Celis. Screenshots are included to illustrate gameplay and provide visual aids. Chapters 4 and 5 of The Legend of Heroes Guide detail the party's adventures. In Chapter 4, The Enchanted King, the party journeys to Soldis, where King Bazoon is under Akdam's control via Sylphi. They gather information, battle Sylphi, and confront Akdam in Wind Cave. The chapter emphasizes boss fights and recommends obtaining platinum equipment in Rudora. Chapter 5, The Mysterious Tower of Light, sees the party rescuing Princess Dina. They explore Molestone and Funkgas, assisting locals in reaching the Tower of Water Spirits. They rescue Hans, acquire the Silver Flute, and confront Bazil. Key strategies involve a unique jumping mechanic for the princess's rescue, and the importance of recovery items and heal level 5 magic. The chapter leads towards the final battle against Agnija. The next page serves as an adventurer's reference book for The Legend of Heroes Ein and 2, featuring a lovely illustration of Princess Dinah. It compiles essential data on the equipment and items available within the game world. The page breaks down items into 3 key lists: weapons, armor, and general items. Each list provides the item's name, its price, relevant stats like attack power or defense power, and a brief description. often indicating where the item can be acquired or its specific effect. These comprehensive lists cover a wide range of gear and consumables, from basic starting equipment like knives and cloth armor, to powerful late-game items like diamond swords, platinum armor, and various rings and elixirs, with beneficial effects such as HP/MP recovery or status ailment cures. The descriptions offer crucial information for players looking to optimize their party's loadout and prepare for challenging encounters. Notably, the page mentions that these lists are based on data collected up to the completion of Chapter 5, directly following the guide content from the previous page. This reinforces the page's role as a practical resource for players progressing through the game. This page dives into a thorough strategy guide for a sub-scenario in Slayers Royal 2. After completing the main story up to conquering the second tower, the focus shifts to a side quest where the party's key member, Guri, can obtain a powerful new sword. The guide details the complex steps required to have the blacksmith, Philip, craft this magic sword. It emphasizes the importance of following the illustrated steps, which show interactions and locations. The screenshots highlight key dialogue moments and places like the weapon shop. On the right side of the page, there's a sequence flow charting the necessary locations to visit as part of this quest, starting and ending in Dolthant, with stops in areas like Leonard City and Milnheim. This visual aid corresponds to numbers shown on the screenshots, guiding players through the required journey. The guide specifically mentions starting the investigation in Milnheim. It highlights that even if finding the necessary ingredients like orichalcon is difficult, Philippe can still craft the weapon if the materials are acquired. This sub-scenario offers a significant power boost for Guri, and requires careful exploration and conversation. This page provides further strategic guidance for Slayers Royal 2, detailing various side quests and events encountered during the game. It covers scenarios like attempting to raid a thief's hideout, only to find it empty, and the pursuit of a tenacious vampire. A central piece of advice is to always gather information when arriving in a new town, specifically mentioning talking to an old woman and a bar owner in Dolthant to uncover the thieves' location. The guide outlines tasks around the Tower of Sealing, noting that returning to Dolthant leads to learning the thieves' new hideout from the old woman. The confrontation with the thieves is highlighted, where they are dismayed to encounter Lena, referred to dramatically as the heavenly calamity beautiful sorceress. This can lead to large-scale battles, potentially against 20 opponents, with rewards like gold and gems. The page also hints at challenging nighttime encounters with beautiful, formidable women. After a certain event, players will be presented with a choice of one of 3 items as a reward. Finally, the guide looks ahead, previewing the journey to the third tower on Amorphous Mountain. It mentions meeting Alicia, a guardian of the Tower of Sealing, and suggests that the story is reaching a climax, with hints of hidden treasures and uncertainty about the tower's true location. This page is the final installment of the Grandia Paradise fan page, titled Farewell, Tears, and Gratitude. It thanks readers for their long support and features a large number of fan illustrations submitted by readers. The creators express their gratitude and mention the release of a Grandia Memorial package. The page is filled with various fan-submitted artwork depicting beloved Grandia characters like Justin, Fina, Sue, Liette, Gadwin, and others, capturing different scenes and character expressions, often with accompanying comments from the artists. A major highlight is the announcement of the Grandia Character Popularity Contest results. The results are presented, starting with the top spot. Surprisingly, the combined hero and heroine, Justin and Fina, took the overwhelming first place with 147 votes. Fina secured second place with 106 votes, followed by Reen in third with 84 votes. Justin is fourth with 57 votes, and Sue is fifth with 37 votes. The text remarks on Fina's solid second place and the surprising strength of the hero and heroine combination at the top. The ranking continues down to 10th place, including characters like Guido, Liette, Mio, Lily, and Saki. The commentator finds it interesting that some characters received votes while others didn't, noting that Ricine's high placement is notable and the combined hero/heroine win was unexpected. Overall, the contest results reflect the fans' love for the game's diverse cast. This page is a vibrant display of fan appreciation for the game Grandia, featuring the Everyone's Illustrations section. It showcases numerous artworks submitted by readers across Japan, depicting a wide array of beloved characters like Justin, Fina, Sue, Liette, Rap, and more, capturing different scenes and emotions from the game. Accompanying text includes personal anecdotes from players about their experiences, relating parts of the game to school life, or highlighting favorite minigames and events like the Digital Museum. The main feature is the announcement of the Favorite Line contest results. This contest asks players to vote for the most memorable dialogue lines from Grandia. The winning line, receiving the most votes, is Justin's impassioned cry defending Fina from a captor. Tied for second place are powerful lines spoken by Justin, Fina, and Rap, reflecting pivotal moments in their individual character arcs and the game's story. The results underline the impact the game's dialogue had on players and the strong connection they felt with the characters. This page introduces GameSpot Japan, an essential online resource for gamers looking for the latest information, especially with the Dreamcast launch on the horizon. A key feature highlighted is its speed, delivering news on major events like the announcements for D2 and Sonic Adventure just hours after they occur. Beyond timely news, GameSpot Japan provides extensive international coverage, linking to over 300 software developers and translating foreign game information. The site also boasts rich editorial content, including creator interviews with figures like Hirai Uji and insightful columns that delve into topics ranging from game history, featuring segments like A Lold Game, to industry perspectives. The coverage has a distinct passion, even exploring niche areas like older Sega hardware, as suggested by the illustration in the Creator Mania section. Sega's own Takahara Hirofumi, a CSR&D producer/manager, highly recommends GameSpot, praising its unique viewpoint and deep dive into the industry. It's presented as the ultimate source for comprehensive and timely game news for the discerning enthusiast. This page features a report from Elf Corporation, addressing whether their Windows 95 games are compatible with Windows 98. The good news is that all 6 of their existing Windows titles are confirmed to work seamlessly with Windows 98, and future PC releases will also be compatible. Featured are several popular Elf visual novels and adventure games, including the classic romance adventure Dokusei 2, noting that Graduates was released alongside it, and highlighting its enduring appeal. Other titles shown are the hospital-themed No Nomura by Yuin no Hitobito, the mystery/adventure Isaku, the family-centric Kawatasake no Ichizoku, the well-known dating sim Kakusei, and Shusaku, titles known for Elf's distinctive style. Screenshots from each game provide a glimpse into their character designs and settings. The page also includes a humorous segment called the Bromide Gallery, showcasing photos of Elf development staff member Mr. Kuroiwa from his childhood, present day at work, and even a bizarre past life depiction as a fly, inviting reader feedback. Finally, Elf announces a recruitment drive for graphic designers, providing contact information and details on how aspiring artists can apply to join the company. They also briefly mention that their homepage has surpassed 1.6 million visitors, offering various content for fans. This page dives into the world of Capcom music releases and features a special fan art section, presented as Hello! Capcom Volume 60. The main highlight is a comprehensive list of CD titles available from Capcom's Sulaputer label as of September 25, 1998. This extensive list covers original soundtracks and drama albums for major titles including Resident Evil 2, Rival Schools, Mega Man Legends, Marvel vs. Capcom, Star Gladiator 2, and various Street Fighter entries like X2 and 03. 2 specific album releases are featured: the Resident Evil Symphony, an orchestral soundtrack for the PlayStation's Director's Cut DualShock version, and the Resident Evil 2 Complete Track, which compiles all released and unreleased music from the game, alongside new compositions. Both are essential for fans looking to immerse themselves in the chilling atmosphere of the series. The page also includes a special edition of Daibusyu's Room, typically a fan corner. This segment focuses on showcasing excellent fan illustrations that previously couldn't be featured. Highlights include artwork of Roll from Mega Man Legends, Chun-Li from Street Fighter, Lilith from Darkstalkers, and another character in a playful bunny outfit. The text humorously notes these pieces were too good to keep hidden. Finally, there's a brief appeal to find a Pocket Fighter contest participant who didn't provide their name, and a general call for ongoing fan postcard submissions covering illustrations, articles, and original character designs. The AM show in Tokyo showcased Capcom's new titles. Tech Romancer, Kikai-O, a major highlight, features simple controls and exhilarating gameplay with powerful attacks. Magical Tetris Challenge, starring Mickey Mouse, offers a charming take on the classic puzzle game. Other titles include JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, praised for its faithful manga adaptation, and Power Stone, Capcom's debut on the Naomi board, set in the 19th century with treasure hunting gameplay. Giga Wing, a vertical shooter, was also previewed.
The article anticipates future reports with producer interviews and more details.
This page provides a strategy guide for Street Fighter Alpha 3, aimed at helping beginners quickly improve their skills. It highlights the game's extensive roster of 28 characters and the 3 distinct fighting styles, or isms, offering a wide variety of gameplay options. The guide suggests finding a character that suits your playstyle, listing the diverse cast along with recommendations for which ism works best for them, and a brief description of their strengths. It then delves into the 3 ism systems: Coxism, Xiism, and Vism.
Xiism is presented as a balanced style with access to super combos, zero counters, and air guard. Hangei. Nexinism is noted for its high attack power and guard durability but lacks an air guard. Vism emphasizes complex custom combos, allowing for creative and high damage sequences, though it requires precise timing and setup. Screenshots illustrate gameplay moments, showcasing character interactions and special moves within the different ism systems. The guide also touches on key techniques like the Chikupan, chain combos, and the new original combo, custom combo activation, explaining their utility and potential for turning the tide of a fight. It emphasizes understanding these core mechanics and systems to succeed in the game. This page continues the strategy guide for Street Fighter Alpha 3, emphasizing the crucial need for players to balance offense and defense rather than focusing solely on one aspect. It introduces several key system mechanics and techniques essential for mastering the game. The guide highlights learning effective anti-air techniques to counter opponents' jump attacks, recognizing and exploiting counter-hit opportunities which can lead to further damage, and utilizing the air recovery system to quickly regain control after being launched. It also details how to aim for air juggles to follow up on certain hits, punishing opponents further while they are airborne. Furthermore, the page explains the guard crush system, where repeatedly blocking attacks depletes a character's guard gauge, leading to a vulnerable state. Crucially, it provides a technique to mitigate this risk. Performing a precise guard just before an attack hits significantly reduces guard meter loss, a tactic the guide notes is often overlooked but highly effective. Screenshots throughout the page showcase various characters like Chun-Li, Cody, Dhalsim, E Honda, Sagat, and others demonstrating these techniques in action, illustrating the points discussed. History in these fundamental systems is presented as vital for achieving true victory. This page is an advertisement for Yogi Animation School, showcasing their art education programs with a prominent illustration in a distinct anime style, featuring characters associated with the series Lost Universe. The school promotes its curriculum focusing on skills needed for a career in animation and related media. They highlight a high achievement rate, stated as 99.01% for graduates in March Heisei 10, 1998, emphasizing their success in placing students into relevant industries. The ad mentions accepting applications for the April Heisei 11, 1999 term. Key features include low interest, no collateral educational loans, and a focus on developing creative skills for individuals with no prior experience. Various departments are listed, covering areas like anime, CG, art, and voice acting. The Osaka school is celebrating its 10th anniversary.
The advertisement offers free school brochures, free trial lessons and information sessions, and opportunities for campus visits. They also promote a free aptitude test called Charisma Map for potential students. Additionally, there's information about free auditions for aspiring voice actors held in different locations.
This page is the Reader Submission Corner and Weekly Postboard section, where readers share their thoughts, experiences, and illustrations. The goal is to become the Submission King. Several readers submit letters covering a range of topics. One recounts a trip to Australia, finding a SEGA World in Sydney, and feeling compelled to visit. Another shares anecdotes about phone surveys and inconvenient timing. Narrated. A reader describes being pickpocketed and feeling frustrated but relieved to get their bag back. The page also features illustrated submissions. Homeroom. One section titled, Let's Pair Up, shows mascot characters, perhaps from a contest or recurring feature. Another prominent section is titled, Nadesico, Launching, and features character artwork from the anime Martian successor, Nadesico. Below this, a section titled, Did You Become a Dreamcast, showcases characters that appear to be from Lost Universe, tying in with the previous page's animation school advertisement. Another illustration features a character described as the main character from the movie version, Hoshino Ruri, from Nadesico. Reader comments touch on various things, like tough experiences, frustrations,
and observations about t-shirts. One comment mentions LP records no longer including postcards and shifting to presents instead. Another reader talks about seeing a t-shirt with the kanji Yamato spirit. A submission notes a ramen shop temporarily closing for training, but actually going out of business, which was shocking. Overall, it's a lively collection of reader feedback and fan art from the Sega Saturn era. This page is the Saturn Users Plaza, featuring contributions from fans and some notable individuals from various fields. It serves as a space for readers to share ideas, feedback, and creative works.
One submission suggests an interesting concept for a Nights into Dreams RPG, envisioning a story where young protagonists face real-world problems that manifest in dream dungeons, guided by knights. The author expresses hope that SEGA will continue to pursue unique ideas, especially for the upcoming Dreamcast. Another submission proposes a practical feature for the visual memory unit, suggesting it could beep when other VMSs are nearby to make finding multiplayer opponents easier, similar to handheld game connectivity. The page also includes humorous illustrated comments under headings like "Cheers from Idols" and "Industry people also praise." These feature caricature drawings and lighthearted text referencing Saturn magazine itself, making jokes about figures like a fake Nakasan and a famous president resembling Kinnikuman, often with a playful tone about who is endorsing the magazine. One comment even references Grandia characters. Finally, the manga corridor section showcases reader-submitted comic strips and illustrations, featuring references to games like Sakura Wars and characters from Grandia, reflecting the diverse interests of the Sega Saturn community. This page delves further into the user contribution section, presenting various cheers and messages from readers, framed humorously with caricatures. Under the banner of cheers received, the page features endorsements, including parodies of familiar figures. The Hollywood stars too. Section showcases humorous drawings resembling Godzilla, complete with commentary on its authenticity, and caricatures of Brad Pitt and another figure, explicitly labeling them as fakes. Following this, letters also from people who don't exist. And thanks to everyone from other fields too. Continue the theme of playful, often regional, caricatures, offering support or comments, including a notable parody of TM Revolution, highlighting the wide range of spoofed figures. The page also features the Posting King Hall of Fame and a list of top point scorers, acknowledging the most active contributors to the User Plaza based on a point system, with individuals reaching 15 points being inducted into the hall. Finally, a segment titled Heart Friend provides a detailed look at a simulation game. The description, focusing on creating personalized aquatic environments, naming fish, and even breeding them using the console's real-time clock, strongly points to Aquazone. The author expresses significant enjoyment and appreciation for the game's depth and realistic time progression, calling it a simulation game for Saturn users, and highlighting its infinite possibilities. This page is dedicated to a fan art gallery, titled Party Gallery, showcasing reader contributions centered around the theme of Sonic Adventure. Various pieces of artwork featuring Sonic and other characters like Tails, Knuckles, Amy Rose, Eggman, and Big the Cat are displayed, accompanied by comments from the artists and magazine staff. The best of the week highlight features a dynamic drawing of Sonic.
The comments express excitement for the Dreamcast-era Sonic and praise for the different art styles and character interpretations. The page also includes an information section detailing the rules for submitting artwork and messages. Submissions should be on postcards or postcard-sized white paper, drawn in black ink. Color illustrations are not currently accepted. There's also information about a point system for contributors, where points are awarded for published work, and bonus points for notable submissions. These points can be redeemed for prizes like books or Saturn software. Finally, there is a section providing the address to send submissions to. This page features strategy guides for some of the most popular Sega Saturn titles, published by SoftBank. First up is the official guide for Dragon Force 2, covering this epic strategy simulation RPG. It promises a complete walkthrough, detailing the numerous events, unique characters, and in-depth combat systems including troop types and special moves. It also provides comprehensive data on internal affairs commands like formations and searches, character and item lists, and item synthesis methods, ensuring players can fully conquer the game's vast world. Next we have the official guide for Shining Force 2, I Scenario 2.
This guide for the simulation RPG focuses on providing essential conquest data. It includes complete map data up to the final stage, information on hidden item locations, details on enemy appearances, and a data-heavy structure designed to provide users with all the necessary information for success. Finally, the guide for the SEGA Saturn version of Panzer Dragoon Saga is showcased. Referred to here as Panzer Dragoon RPG, this official guide for the SEGA Saturn release highlights changes from previous versions and additions, like new battle scenes and events. It also includes interviews with voice actors, and comes with bonus trading cards and a chance to win signed autographs, making it a must-have for fans. These guides offer essential support for navigating these complex and beloved SEGA Saturn games. This page features an article titled, "The End of the 20th Century, A Story of Boys and Girls," from the Saturn Times, dated October 9, 1998. The article appears to be a narrative piece, focusing on an incident at a middle school in Saitama Prefecture involving a nationwide poisoning event. It delves into the daily lives and interactions of the students, including characters named Toshiro, Saito, and Nakamoto, and mentions a teacher named Teacher Izaki and the school's baseball club. A photograph of a young boy is included, but the caption clarifies that the image is not related to the story's content. This article is a human interest or fictional piece, and does not contain any information about SEGA Saturn games, characters, or screenshots. This page from the Saturn Times, dated October 9, 1998, delves into various aspects of otaku culture and life. Several columns discuss the social standing of game creators and otaku, pondering why success in the industry doesn't necessarily translate to popularity, especially with women. These pieces are illustrated and written by contributors like Suzuki Miso and Hitoshi Ichimura, an OV director. A feature article titled, "Deep Otaku Culture, The World of SFX-less SFX Movies," explores a bizarre low-budget Japanese horror film called Ratman. Described as a genetic horror hybrid of rats and humans around 50 centimeters tall, the piece comments on the film's quality and uses it as a springboard for abstract thoughts on popularity, physical characteristics, and what makes something fear-inducing, contrasting it with strange cultural concepts like giant breast talent. This column is written by Hosei Tsuroka. Adding to the page's quirky nature is a small article recounting a strange sighting. A large SEGA Saturn console emerging from the water near a bridge, witnessed by a reader while fishing. This anecdote is accompanied by a photograph of the console in the water. The page also includes an illustration by Mashino Henmaru, featuring a girl with mechanical tools and Saturn controller parts, adding to the distinct visual style. Overall, it's a mix of cultural commentary, personal anecdotes, and exploration of niche interests rather than traditional game reviews or news. This page features two distinct columns, offering personal insights and commentary. The first column, Tomoe Sakurai's Message to the Heart Volume 25, includes a photo of the contributor. Here, Tomoe Sakurai shares a relatable shopping story about being drawn into a jewelry store. What started as casual browsing led to a significant purchase of silver rings, specifically mentioning an interest in dolphin designs and their symbolic powers. She humorously recounts the shock of checking her wallet after buying multiple rings, illustrating the classic impulse buy experience. The second column, Izumi Takemoto's Various Notes number 25, is presented as a series of illustrated snippets covering a range of topics. The author muses on things like starting to use the internet but not knowing what for, regretting missing limited edition art books from years past, and the desire to collect works by specific artists like Takekawa Izumi. The column also touches on the gaming world, noting the low sales of Chunsoft's visual novel The City, Machi, and expressing thoughts on game development like a potential Shiren the Wanderer sequel. There are mentions of specific literary series published in Japan and plans for a Sherlock Holmes manga adaptation. The column feels like a charming stream of consciousness diary entry from an avid fan of various media. The bottom section provides brief biographical information on both Tomoe Sakurai and Izumi Takemoto, noting their careers including music, voice acting, and manga. It also includes details about a contemporary theater performance and a music release. This page is the 34th installment of the manga column Gu Toka Paa Toka by manga artist Aoki Mitsu. The comic humorously depicts the author's tumultuous relationship with video games. She explains that when she gets into a game, she becomes completely absorbed,
losing all track of time and acting foolishly. She illustrates the cycle of starting a game, getting hooked, realizing she's neglecting other things, deciding to quit, and even giving the console away, only to inevitably get drawn back in. The panels show her frustration and the grip games have on her, highlighting the struggle to balance her life and her gaming habit. At the bottom, the page includes a brief profile of Ajoki Mitsu, noting her age, marital status, and career as a popular manga artist known for her cute style, mentioning some of her published works. This page features the 17th installment of the Machi Bulletin Board, a community corner dedicated to the acclaimed SEGA Saturn visual novel, Machi, Unmei no Kusaten. This section acts as a hub for fans and staff alike to share their enthusiasm for the game. The page is packed with reader submissions, including fan art in the Gallery Dogonzaka and Dankankan sections, personal anecdotes about playing the game, and discussions about specific scenes or characters, like the Ryuji vs. Ushio battle depicted in a fan drawing. A major focus is the speculation around a potential sequel, Machi 2, where fans and staff contribute ideas for systems, protagonists, and even joke about the sheer number of endings a sequel might have, like 10,000. The page also includes insightful tips, such as a detailed breakdown of the Kyoto Shibuya line featured in the game, explaining its real-world inspiration and mechanics. Profiles of key staff members, the editor and Tetsu the writer, are included, offering their perspective on the game. There's even a feature on Mayumi Kuroki, the actress who portrayed the character Akiko Suenaga, complete with her profile. The page concludes with a call for reader submissions for future installments, offering game-related prizes. It's clear this bulletin board fosters a strong sense of community among Machi fans, and builds excitement for the future of the series. This page features a personal column by the composer Noriyuki Iwadare, titled, Noriyuki Iwadare's World Come On Everybody Volume 9. He gives an overview of his recent work from summer through autumn. He discusses composing music for the Tokyo Disneyland Christmas Parade, detailing the process of creating a medley and fitting music to the parade floats. He also mentions working on a commercial and music for the Hadkey Dance Company, highlighting the challenge of precise timing for the former and arranging music for a performance themed around food for the latter. The Secret Snap section includes 2 photos, one showing his children playing by a grave during an Oban visit, and another of him posing with voice actress Ayako Kawasumi at a signing event. And in this week's One Candela, Iwadare reviews the soundtrack seeds for Magical School Lunar, Magical Island Volume 1 and 2. He notes the game's origins on Game Gear and his extensive arrangement work for the CD release. He highlights his favorite tracks, Vacation by the Sea and Class, describing them as having a relaxed feel. He also points out a bonus interview track and suggests a sequel CD might be coming. Finally, the Gear introduction section features the VSC-88, a virtual synthesizer software. Iwadare praises it as a familiar sound canvas within a computer, convenient for desktop music production, and notes its good sound quality and low cost. He also briefly mentions using Pro Tools and being impressed by simulator software like Rebirth. This page features strategy guides for 2 major SEGA Saturn titles. First up is the Perfect Guide for Super Robot Wars F Final, the guide for the epic conclusion to the series on the system, featuring the clash of numerous iconic mechas like Evangelion, Ideon, Gundam, Mazinger Z, Getter Robo, and Daytarn 3 against powerful enemies. This substantial 296-page guide, priced at 1,400 yen, was clearly popular, as it's advertised as sold out and highlighted for its different quality. Also featured is the Perfect Guide for Mobile Suit Gundam, Giran's Ambition. This guide provides essential strategies, weapon and character data, details on hidden modes, and event triggers necessary for mastering the game's strategic depth. Illustrated with the imposing figure of Giran Zabi, this 168-page guide is priced at 1,200 yen. Both guides are published by SoftBank. This page features an urgent special report announcing that games are changing and revealing Sega's formula for complete victory, centered around the Naomi arcade board. Revealed at the 36th AM show, Naomi is presented as a groundbreaking interchangeable board compatible with the upcoming Dreamcast home console. The article highlights Naomi as the core of Sega's strategy, not just to compete with rivals, but to create entirely new gaming experiences. It traces Sega's history of developing high-end arcade boards like Model 1, 2, and 3, positioning Naomi as the next evolution. Its compatibility with Dreamcast, including features like linking with the Visual Memory System (VMS), promises innovative two-way data interaction between arcade and home. The technical specifications confirm its power, sharing the same core CPU and graphics engine as the Dreamcast,
capable of impressive visual effects like bump mapping, fog, and anti-aliasing, exceeding the Model 3's capabilities. Images show the Naomi board itself, highlighted as a compact and cost-effective solution, allowing for multiple boards to be linked. There's also a picture of the prominent Naomi booth at the AM show. Crucially, a screenshot from a game, likely The House of the Dead 2, is shown, exciting the reviewer about the stunning visuals and the potential for arcade-perfect home ports on Dreamcast. The article emphasizes Naomi's affordability, reducing development risk, and opening doors for widespread adoption globally. This page continues the urgent special report on Sega's groundbreaking Naomi arcade board, revealing the Dream Project, unveiled at the AM show. It emphasizes Naomi as Sega's formula for complete victory, leveraging its Dreamcast compatibility, high performance, and surprising affordability to become the industry standard. The article highlights the strong industry support, with over 20 domestic and international companies signing licenses and publicly aiming for 500,000 units shipped worldwide. Visuals include Naomi arcade cabinets and impressive screenshots showcasing the board's graphical power, such as the AM3-developed Taxi game, which clearly resembles Crazy Taxi, and a stunning environment demo featuring realistic water effects. A major announcement is spotlighted. Tecmo's Dead or Alive 2 is coming to Naomi, revealed as the world's first 128-bit competitive fighting game. The article notes the demo's impressive quality, looking like a movie but running in real time, and the speed at which it was developed. Screenshots from Dead or Alive 2 show detailed character models like Kasumi and vibrant stages, exciting fans for the upcoming release. This page delves further into Sega's strategic synergy between their arcade Naomi board and the Dreamcast console, highlighting how this shared architecture allows for simultaneous development and easy porting between arcade and home platforms. This approach is presented as a key strategy for revitalizing Sega and pushing innovation. The article features examples of games benefiting from this synergy, including the arcade horror classic, The House of the Dead 2, Dynamite Baseball 98, and the lesser-known arcade title, Blood Bullet. A significant focus is placed on third-party support, specifically featuring Capcom and their announcement of Power Stone for Naomi. An interview with Capcom's Yoshiki Okamoto and Katsuya Shobayashi discusses the game's development and Capcom's enthusiasm for the Naomi board, emphasizing its power and potential. Power Stone is described as a new type of action game utilizing terrain and strategy, and the interview touches on future multimedia plans. The page also lists several other prominent third-party developers who are supporting the Naomi platform, indicating strong industry backing. These include Rationalizing, Sikyo, Treasure, Jaleco, Sammy, Videosystem, Visco, and Cave, all committing to developing titles for Sega's new arcade standard, further solidifying the Naomi/Dreamcast ecosystem as a major force in the industry. This page features an in-depth discussion with Katsuya Nakagawa, the head of Sega M1 R&D, about the new Naomi arcade board and its symbiotic relationship with the Dreamcast console. He emphasizes the strong industry interest in Naomi, noting the high number of inquiries from various developers. Nakagawa explains the fundamental similarities between Naomi and Dreamcast hardware, highlighting how this shared architecture simplifies development and allows for efficient porting between arcade and home platforms. He addresses the question of whether Naomi truly surpasses the performance of the previous Model 3 board, discussing differences in architecture and development approach. The article showcases several AM1 R&D Model 3 titles that are expected to transition to Dreamcast, indicating the successful porting capability. These include the arcade-perfect version of Virtua Fighter 3 TB, Sega Rally 2, Get Base, known as Sega Base Fishing internationally, and Harley-Davidson and LA Riders. Screenshots of these games are prominently displayed, illustrating the visual fidelity achievable on the Naomi/Dreamcast hardware. Nakagawa expresses confidence in the ability to achieve perfect ports for many Model 3 titles onto Dreamcast. This page clearly underscores Sega's strategy to leverage a unified hardware platform for both arcades and home consoles, aiming for efficiency and widespread developer support. This page continues the in-depth interview with Katsuya Nakagawa, focusing on the Naomi arcade board's capabilities and market potential. Nakagawa emphasizes Naomi's attractive price point, noting that it delivers visuals surpassing even the Model 3,
which generates significant interest from developers eager to create games on the platform. He highlights the seamless development path between Naomi and the Dreamcast, describing them as fundamentally interchangeable regarding development, making porting between arcade and home console easy and efficient. This shared architecture is a major selling point for developers and positions Naomi strongly in the market. The discussion touches upon the potential for new game types facilitated by Naomi and its connection to the Dreamcast, particularly mentioning the innovative use of the Visual Memory Unit, VMU. Players can potentially carry character data or other personal information on their VMU to the arcade, opening up new gameplay possibilities. Nakagawa is optimistic about Naomi's economic impact, predicting it will revitalize arcades by enabling a wider variety of games at a lower hardware cost, leading to more title releases. The page features images of the Naomi board itself, a screenshot from the baseball game Dynamite Baseball 98, and a visually impressive screenshot resembling the House of the Dead series, demonstrating the graphical power of the hardware. Nakagawa confirms that Sega plans to release a substantial number of titles on Naomi, further solidifying its position as the future of Sega's arcade business. The article explores the realization of perfect porting of arcade games to home consoles, a dream finally achieved with the Sega Naomi arcade board and the Dreamcast console. Their identical architecture renders traditional porting unnecessary, creating near-identical experiences akin to Sponk's Neo Geo. This allows for seamless development and even reverse porting, such as arcade releases of Dreamcast titles. The text contrasts this success with Sega's earlier porting efforts. While previous consoles, like the Master System and Mega Drive, offered approximations of arcade games due to hardware limitations, the gap remained. However, the Naomi/Dreamcast partnership promises a true arcade experience at home, marking a significant advancement in gaming technology. This text explores the landscape of arcade hardware beyond Sega, focusing on compatibility and cost. Other companies like SNK, Nintendo, and PlayStation also developed arcade systems, some attempting to bridge the gap between arcade and home experiences. Arcade board prices varied significantly, with systems like Sega's Model 3 being significantly more expensive than the STV. The article then examines Sega's approach to porting arcade games. The Sega Saturn's simultaneous launch with Virtua Fighter marked the beginning of the 3D era. The STV, Sega's interchangeable board, allowed for many arcade titles to be brought home, despite not being masterpieces. Model 2 games were successfully ported to the Saturn, though compromises were often necessary. However, the more advanced Model 3 titles were beyond the Saturn's capabilities, leaving those games exclusively in arcades. This page dives deep into Sega's vision for the future of gaming, with Naomi and Dreamcast, framing it as their potential formula for complete victory. The core concept is synergy, linking the arcade experience with the home console via the Visual Memory Unit, VMU, and modem. The article highlights how this connection could allow players to transfer data between arcade and home versions of games. Imagine taking your custom-tuned car from a driving game, or a personalized character from a fighting game, like those seen on Naomi and later Dreamcast, directly to the arcade to compete. The VMU acts as the portable bridge for this data. Furthermore, the Dreamcast's built-in modem enables nationwide real-time rankings, adding a competitive edge and fostering a connected community. The feature then pivots to examine how Sega's rivals, Sony's PlayStation and Nintendo, are approaching similar ideas of synergy. PlayStation's strategy involved using interchangeable arcade boards and a PDA-like memory card peripheral, though the article notes limitations. Nintendo's approach centered around the Nintendo 64, linking it with the rewritable 64DD drive, Game Boy connectivity via the 64GB pack, and their own arcade board, Alex 64. Overall, the page argues that the Naomi/Dreamcast combination, leveraging the VMU and modem, represents Sega's innovative push to create a seamless, interactive ecosystem between arcade and home, aiming to revitalize the entire arcade industry and challenge their competitors' differing strategies. Sega's strategy unified its Naomi arcade board and Dreamcast console to revolutionize gaming. The plan centered on interconnected experiences facilitated by the VMU and Dreamcast's modem. Players could transfer data between home and arcade, such as training teams in sports games like Virtua Striker 2, customizing robots, challenging ghost data in racing games, and managing photos in print club machines. This enabled nationwide rankings and personalized challenges. Sega aimed to revitalize arcades globally by moving beyond raw power, focusing on a richer, interconnected experience. This innovation, leveraging the cost-effective Naomi, was seen as a key competitive advantage. The initiative began in November 1998, with an international rollout demonstrated by showcasing the Naomi hardware and events in America and Hong Kong, aiming to set a new global standard for arcade entertainment.
This page focuses on the House of the Dead 2, as the highly anticipated first title for Sega's new Naomi arcade board, tying into the previous page's discussion of Sega's new arcade strategy. The bold headline declares this game as the first shot for Naomi. The page features striking artwork of the game's protagonists facing off against hordes of zombies, along with screenshots showcasing the in-game action and images of the arcade cabinets. The text highlights that the House of the Dead 2 is a sequel to the popular 1996 arcade gun shooter. It is set 2 years after the original game in a new city, following agents investigating a mysterious incident. The article praises the quality of the graphics and presentation, noting the significant upgrade over the previous title, leveraging the Naomi board's capabilities. It mentions the game was playable up to the second boss during a special AM show report. The branching paths are highlighted as a feature that increases replayability. Crucially, it links the arcade experience to the home console strategy, expressing strong anticipation for a Dreamcast release, suggesting the arcade content could potentially be enjoyed at home. The game is described as a shocking gun-shooting title. The Naomi lineup section lists it as a gun-shooting arcade game, playable by 2 players, and running on the Naomi board, noted as 50% complete with a planned November operation start. This page continues the look at Sega's new Naomi arcade push, focusing on the highly anticipated The House of the Dead 2. Building on the foundation of the first game, this sequel transports players 2 years later to a chaotic city in the year 2000, far beyond the confines of the original mansion. You play as agents James and Gary, sent to investigate the mysterious events unfolding in streets now swarming with the undead. The game features 6 distinct stages, each culminating in a powerful boss encounter. A major new feature is the implementation of branching paths, adding significant replayability and changing everything from stage layouts to boss fights. The article specifically highlights the intimidating Stage 1 boss, an armored giant accompanied by smaller flying devils. Developer comments reveal the game is seen as an evolution of the original's successful formula, expanding the setting and significantly enhancing the cinematic presentation. There's also excitement about the arcade's light gun controls and the prospect of a Dreamcast port, with Sega confirming they are actively considering a compatible light gun for the home console release. This page shifts focus to another upcoming title in the House of the Dead universe, presented as a side story under the tentative title Blood Bullet. It features 3 playable agents, Stick Bridling, Linda Rada, and Rikiya Busujima, whose character portraits are prominently displayed. Described as an action game built upon the House of the Dead world, but with a vastly different system, it incorporates directional combat elements into the shooting gameplay, feeling like a modern zombie game. Running on Sega's Naomi arcade board, the game supports 2 players simultaneously and uses an analog lever with 3 buttons. Although only 20% complete at the time, the preview build was already enjoyable. A reviewer from AMR&D Department Number 1 praises the high degree of freedom, particularly the dynamic camera angles that change with character movement, and the satisfying feel of the analog control. They also highlight the clever mechanic of switching between punching and shooting. The story setup involves a failed military plan using the undead, leading to a city overrun, and the fate of the city rests on the shoulders of these 3 agents. The next page previews Dynamite Baseball 98, an upcoming arcade title running on Sega's powerful Naomi board, currently 40% complete. Following up on the series' evolution since 95's Final Arch, this installment aims for unprecedented realism, capturing even the subtle habits of individual players. The game boasts highly detailed graphics, leveraging Naomi's resolution for authentic stadium billboards, as noted by a developer from AMR&D Department Number 1. Control-wise, it features analog input, a significant upgrade allowing for full directional movement compared to the previous iteration's 8-direction limit, a point confirmed by a developer and highlighted in a quick report from the AM Show demo. A key highlight is the potential integration with Sega's Visual Memory Unit, VMU, hinting at Dreamcast connectivity. The idea is that players could potentially raise their own teams in a related management simulation game, like the Let's Make a Pro Baseball Team series, and then bring that data to the arcade via the VMU for head-to-head battles. This cross-game data exchange capability is seen as an exciting prospect for future Sega titles,
promising deeper engagement. The demo at the AM show impressed with its realistic visuals from players to the stadium environment.
SEGA's Naomi arcade board is poised to impact the game industry, according to a survey of manufacturers. Developers like Treasure, Video System, Cave, and others are actively developing games for Naomi, drawn by its cost-effectiveness, strong performance, and compatibility with the Dreamcast. These developers see Naomi as a gateway to consumer platforms, potentially leveraging the Dreamcast for broader reach. While companies like Sammy, Razorlizing, Jaleco, and Sikyo are exploring Naomi, others, including Konami, Taito, and SNK, are either committed to other platforms or have no concrete plans for Naomi. The feature concludes by questioning if SEGA, with Naomi and the Dreamcast synergy, can set a new industry standard. SEGA's history in CG technology suggests they might become a major player in the industry's future. This page announces a campaign celebrating the SEGA Official Strategy Guide series from SoftBank, hitting 2.5 million copies sold. Running from September to the end of November '98, the campaign offers prizes to those who purchase eligible guides. Featured prizes include a Puyo Puyo and Madu Monogatari card collection set showing characters like Arl, Satan, and Schizo Wegi, a Gathering Godzilla, virtual pet device, and special telephone cards featuring various game art. The campaign highlights guides for upcoming or recently released titles scheduled between September and November '98. These include guides for Cyber Troopers, Virtualon Oratorio Tangram, Sakura Wars 2, a comprehensive strategy guide and an art book, Virtua Striker 2 Ver 98, Shining Force 2 I Scenario 3, and Let's Make a J-League Professional Soccer Club 2, among others in the SEGA official series. Participants could apply by sending in a coupon from the book via postcard. The campaign is a collaboration between SoftBank, the publisher, and SEGA Enterprises. This page features two strategy guides from the SoftBank SEGA Official Guide series, both highlighted in the campaign mentioned on the previous page. At the top, we see the official guide for Virtua Striker 2 version 98. This guide supports players looking to dominate the pitch in SEGA's popular arcade soccer game. It covers everything from basic gameplay mechanics to in-depth analysis of each country's tactics, introduces famous players, and even reveals some hidden techniques. It's presented as the first official guide for the series, designed to help you get results. Below that is the official guide for Shining Force 2 I Scenario 3. Hyuheki no Kami, Ice Wall God. This guide is the conclusion to the three-part saga of Shining Force 2 Eyes on the Saturn. It covers the ending of the story, influenced by events in Scenarios 1 and 2, and details the final chapter. The guide is essential for players of this simulation RPG, providing complete map data, character and enemy introductions, information on hidden items, and everything needed to finish the adventure. It promises to cover the game's conclusion, featuring characters from the previous parts and the fate of the Force. This page presents a comprehensive databank of SEGA Saturn software titles released between November 22, 1994 and September 23, 1998. It serves as a vital reference for checking out the console's extensive game library. The list provides key information for each title, including its release date, developer, price, genre, and importantly, both average reader scores and the magazine's own evaluation scores. It also notes compatibility with specific peripherals. This database is an excellent resource for understanding the breadth of the Saturn software lineup throughout a significant portion of its lifespan, offering insights into which games were popular with readers and how the magazine's reviewers rated them. This page continues the extensive database of SEGA Saturn titles, picking up where the previous listing left off. It provides detailed information for games released from late 1995 through the early months of 1996. For each entry, you'll find the developer, original price, genre, and crucial scores from both readers and the magazine's reviewers, giving a clear picture of how the games were received at the time. Compatibility notes for peripherals like specific controllers or accessories are also included. This section highlights many iconic Saturn releases from this era, featuring major hits like Virtua Fighter 2, Street Fighter Alpha, Sega Rally Championship, Guardian Heroes, and X-Men, Children of the Atom, showing the console's strong lineup during this period. This page continues the extensive SEGA Saturn software database, detailing releases primarily from March through June of 1996. As with the previous entries, it provides essential data points for each title, including the developer, original price, genre,
reader and magazine review scores, and crucial notes on peripheral compatibility, like mouse support or multiplayer options. This section features a number of significant releases from the era. March saw the debut of games like Darkstalkers, The Night Warriors, and the acclaimed RPG Shin Megami Tensei, Devil Summoner. April brought fan favorites such as Street Fighter Alpha, the action-packed Guardian Heroes, and the arcade fighter X-Men, Children of the Atom, all of which earned high marks from both players and the magazine's reviewers, showcasing the console's strength in 2D gaming. Moving into May, releases included FIFA Soccer 96, the intense shooter Tsukyu Gurentai, and the quirky horizontal shooter Gokujo Parodius. June rounded out this period with the crossover Fighters Megamix and the classic cinematic adventure Snatcher. The scores presented here offer a clear insight into how these titles were received upon release, providing a valuable historical record of the Sega Saturn's diverse and compelling library during this key period. This page continues the comprehensive database of Sega Saturn software releases, primarily covering titles launched from July through October of 1996. It provides a concise overview for each entry, including the manufacturer, original price, genre, and review scores from both readers and the magazine staff, alongside notes on peripheral compatibility. This period showcased the Saturn's diverse library, with major arcade ports like the King of Fighters 96, Fighting Vipers, and Street Fighter Alpha 2 arriving, solidifying the console's reputation for excellent 2D fighters. We also see the release of the groundbreaking simulation RPG Sakura Taisen, a pivotal title for the system in Japan, alongside popular Western ports like Road Rash and Wipeout. The list includes racing hits like Sega Rally Championship, puzzle games such as Puzzle Bobble 2X and Magical Drop 2, and significant entries in series like Shin Megami Tensei, Devil Summoner. The sheer variety, spanning action, sports, RPGs, and simulations, underscores the breadth of the Saturn's software lineup during this busy few months. The scores provide valuable insight into how these games were received upon release. This page continues the Sega Saturn software databank, providing entries for games released in November and December of 1996. It maintains the standard format, detailing the title, manufacturer, original price, genre, reader and staff review scores, and any specific peripheral compatibility. This period saw the release of several highly anticipated titles for the Saturn. RPG fans were treated to Lunar, Silver Star Story, a beloved classic. The arcade fighting and action genres remained strong, with additions like Sexy Parodius, the critically acclaimed Cyber Troopers Virtuon, Super Puzzle Fighter 2X, and the System Showcase Fighters Megamix. Strategy fans could delve into Tactics Ogre, while the excellent Panzer Dragoon Is and 2 compilations brought 2 iconic rail shooters together. The list also includes entries for popular series like The King of Fighters 97, and various simulations and puzzle games. The databank here shows the wide variety of software hitting the Saturn towards the end of 1996, covering diverse genres from intense combat and shooting action to detailed strategy, deep role-playing, and casual puzzle games. The compatibility notes underscore the system's support for various peripherals, including mice, multi-controllers, and the essential RAM cartridge for certain titles, reflecting the tailored experiences offered by the Saturn hardware. This page continues the Sega Saturn software databank, offering a look at games released in January, February, and March of 1997. This section lists entries with details like the release day, title, manufacturer, original price, genre, reader reviews, staff reviews, and any specific peripheral support. The lineup for early 1997 includes a diverse mix of titles, from major releases like the platformer Mega Man 8 and the adventurous Tomb Raider, to arcade fighting with Cyberbots, Full Metal Madness, and the shooting action of Terradiver. Puzzle fans saw new entries like Puyo Puyo Sun and Bust-A-Move 3, while sports gamers got titles such as NHL Powerplay 96 and NBA Jam Extreme. The list also features simulation games, Japanese exclusive visual novels, and RPGs like Far East of Eden, The Apocalypse, IV, showcasing the wide range of experiences available on the Saturn during this period. The scores provided reflect the critical reception from both players and the magazine staff, giving insight into the quality of these releases. Compatibility notes highlight support for peripherals, including the RAM cartridge needed for certain games like Metal Slug. This page continues the extensive Sega Saturn software databank, detailing releases from late 1996 and early 1997. It serves as a comprehensive guide for gamers, offering essential information like publisher, genre, and critical reception from both readers and the magazine staff. The list features a diverse range of titles that showcase the breadth of the Saturn's library. Highlights from this period include major releases like the strategy epic Civilization II, the acclaimed shooter Galactic Attack, the fighting game Groove on Fight, part of the Power Instinct series, and the popular Macross, Do You Remember Love? We also see ports of classic arcade and console hits, such as Salamander Deluxe Pack Plus, Virtua Fighter 2, Sega Rally Championship Plus, Sonic Jam, and the beloved platformer, Nights into Dreams. The list also covers a wealth of Japanese exclusive titles across various genres, including simulation, visual novels, and unique puzzle games like Magical Drop 2i. Noted peripheral support, particularly for the expanded RAM cartridge needed for titles like Waku Waku 7 and Fighter's History, Dynamite, Karnov's Revenge, is also detailed. This databank provides valuable insight into the quality and variety of games available on the system during this competitive era. This page continues the massive SEGA Saturn software databank, now focusing on releases from late summer and early fall of 1997. The format remains the same, providing vital details like developer, genre, pricing, and the critical reception from both readers and the magazine staff, along with notes on peripheral support. This era saw the release of some heavy hitters and interesting titles. Notable games listed here include the fighting game compilation Street Fighter Collection, the classic survival horror title Resident Evil: Biohazard, the action platformer Mega Man X4, and the popular simulation RPG Shining Force 2i. We also see unique Japanese titles like Coldcept, a blend of board game and collectible card games, and various ports and sequels across genres, from shooting like Donpachi and Layer Section 2, to RPGs and simulation games like My Dream on Air Gakamataru Yume and Winning Post. The data highlights the consistent flow of software during this period, showcasing a mix of major franchises and more niche Japanese market releases that kept the Saturn library diverse and engaging for fans. The scores provide a snapshot of how these titles were received by the magazine's readership and critics. This page continues the massive SEGA Saturn software databank, providing a comprehensive look at the console's releases from mid-1997 through early 1998. The detailed table lists everything from release dates and developers to pricing, genre, and crucially, both reader and critic scores, alongside notes on peripheral compatibility. This period saw the arrival of some absolute essentials for the Saturn library. We see the critically acclaimed RPGs like Grandia and Azel, Panzer Dragoon Saga, both fan favorites renowned for their depth and presentation. The fighting game scene was bolstered by titles such as X-Men vs. Street Fighter, notably supporting the 4 MB RAM cartridge for enhanced performance. Other notable releases include the unique racing title Sonic ER, the atmospheric adventure Mashi, the cult classic visual novel Yuno, and the stylish action SHMUP Cotton 2. The data also highlights the continued strength in strategic and simulation genres, with games like Romance of the Three Kingdoms titles and Uncharted Waters Gaiden. The listings also include a variety of niche titles, puzzle games, and guide/data discs, showcasing the diverse range of software available on the platform during its peak years. The scores provide a fascinating snapshot of the critical and fan reception, with many of the major releases achieving high marks, indicating strong satisfaction among Saturn owners. This page continues the comprehensive SEGA Saturn software databank, presenting a wealth of information on games released from late 1997 into early 1998. It details titles with their release dates, publishers, prices, genres, reader and critic review scores, and supported peripherals. Featured here are numerous significant entries in the Saturn library, including the intense action of Winter Heat and Burning Rangers, the strategic depth of Dragon Force 2 and Sakura Wars 2, and acclaimed ports like Tomb Raider, The House of the Dead, and Riven, the sequel to Myst. The fighting game selection is notably strong, with titles like Primal Rage, Vampire Savior, Darkstalkers 3, and X-Men vs. Street Fighter, highlighting the importance of the 4 MB RAM cartridge for enhanced performance. The listings also cover beloved RPGs, such as Dungeon Master Nexus and The Legend of Heroes 2, along with various simulation, puzzle, and visual novel games like Tokimeki Memorial Drama Series Volume 2 and the Phantasy Star Collection. The scores offer a fascinating look at how these games were received by both the magazine's readers and its critics, providing valuable insight into the quality and popularity of the Saturn's diverse software catalog during this busy period. This page continues the exhaustive SEGA Saturn software databank, covering games released from mid to late 1998. It provides the essential data for each title, including the release date, developer or publisher, price, genre, and how the game fared with both magazine readers and the critics. You'll find information on a wide variety of titles here. Standouts include critically acclaimed games like Castlevania, Symphony of the Night, the stunning shooter Radiant Silvergun, and the localized RPG classic Lunar 2, Eternal Blue. The list also features intense experiences such as Deep Fear, popular fighting games like Pocket Fighter, and compilations like Sonic Jam and Virtua Cop 1 and 2. Data reflects the diverse nature of the Saturn's library in its later years, spanning genres from action and RPGs to adventure, simulation, and puzzle games like Puzzle Bobble 2X. Notes on peripheral support, such as RAM cartridge requirements or mouse compatibility, offer practical insights for players. The inclusion of both reader and critic scores gives a clear picture of the reception for these releases as the console neared the end of its life cycle. This page is a reader survey postcard designed to gather feedback for the magazine. It provides instructions on how to fill out the card correctly, using numbers and clearly within the boxes, including examples for entering single and double-digit responses. The survey covers various aspects, starting with reader demographics like gender, age, and occupation. It then delves into gaming habits, asking about the number of SEGA Saturn games owned, other gaming magazines read, and opinions on the current issue's cover and special features. Readers are prompted to list articles they found interesting or uninteresting from the provided Table 1 articles in this issue. They are also asked about their gaming hardware ownership, referencing Table 2, planned hardware purchases, also from Table 2, and crucially, SEGA Saturn and Dreamcast software they plan to buy, referencing the extensive lists in Table 3 and Table 4 respectively. This survey serves as a vital tool for the magazine to understand its audience's preferences, gauge the reception of its content, and track reader interest in upcoming hardware and software titles, helping to shape future issues. This page promotes two official books for the critically acclaimed tactical RPG, Sakura Wars 2, Thou Shalt Not Die. The first is the Sakura Wars, 2 thorough strategy guide to the days of love and battle. A comprehensive guide designed to help players master the game and explore every possibility. It features a linked icon system for easy navigation, detailed character-specific strategies, story summaries, and is packed with information for maximizing your playthrough. This is an official SEGA guide, spanning 464 full-color A5 pages, scheduled for release in late September for 1,800 yen. The second book featured is the Sakura Wars, 2 original art and setting material collection. This is a magnificent Taisho romance book that gathers the entirety of the game's world in one place. It includes original character designs, detailed setting materials, movie storyboards, and designs for iconic mechs like the Kohei and Kubu. It also features complete interviews with the cast and staff. As a bonus, it comes with a poster drawn by Hidenori Matsubara and a papercraft model of the Grand Imperial Theater with chibi characters. This is also an official SEGA product, a substantial 160-page A4 book, planned for late September at a price of 2,000 yen. These 2 books offer fans deep dives into both the gameplay mechanics and the rich artistic world of Sakura Wars 2, providing valuable resources for players and collectors alike. This page features an official guidebook for the intense mech fighting game, Cyber Troopers Virtual On, Oratorio Tangram. This guide is tailored for newcomers to the series, providing a comprehensive introduction to the game. It covers all 11 playable Virtualoids, explaining their basic tactics and introducing their controls and attack techniques. The book also breaks down all the game's systems and actions in an easy-to-understand manner. Additionally, it offers essential strategies for battling against CPU opponents. A notable inclusion is an interview with Virtual On producer Juro Watari, published by SoftBank Corp's publishing division. This, a 5-sized guide, spans 224 pages. It was scheduled for release in early October, with a price of 1,500 yen. This page makes a bold statement, featuring the legendary Sagata Sanshiro,
the iconic figure of the Sega Saturn in Japan, holding his famous SEGA Saturn Shiro scroll set against a dramatic, fiery background. The page serves as a comprehensive guide to the latest Sega Saturn software, broken down into key sections: special reports on highly anticipated games, a look at titles coming soon, and a preview of recent new releases. The special reports section prominently features information on Sagata Sanshiro's own game, Serious Match, alongside other upcoming titles. The Coming Soon Soft section provides previews of games nearing release, such as the arcade shooter Strikers 1945-2, Capcom Generation Volume 3, and the RPG Farland Saga, Signpost of Time. Finally, the new release title section gives a quick rundown of recently launched games like the horse racing simulation winning Post 3 Program 98 and the King of Fighters Best Collection. It's a packed page keeping players informed on the state of the Saturn library. This special report previews Sagata Sanshiro Serious Match, a Sega title starring the iconic Sagata Sanshiro. The game, releasing this fall on October 29 for 4,800 yen, is a variety game for all ages designed for single-player enjoyment. The report features visuals mirroring Sagata's intense commercials. The report includes comments from Hiroshi Fujioka, the actor behind Sagata. He expresses excitement about becoming a game character, believing it expanded his acting capabilities. He anticipates seeing Sagata's in-game actions and encourages players, including those who've moved on from the Sega Saturn, to experience the minigames and enjoy the character's expressions. Fujioka, who is a martial artist, hopes players play until the end. The page is aimed at Sega Saturn fans eager to play as the iconic character. This page takes us behind the scenes of the Sagata Sanshiro Serious Match production, focusing on the creation of the character's iconic look and the commercials that spawn the game. It reveals that the in-game character patterns, essentially the sprites and animations, are derived from extensive photo sessions where actor Hiroshi Fujioka performed numerous martial arts poses. The page features an interview with Satoru Yamada from Hakuhodo A, the producer behind the famous Sagata Sanshiro TV commercials. Yamada discusses the character's origin, explaining it was born from the need for a strong figure to champion the Sega Saturn against rival consoles, drawing inspiration from a dramatic TV series. He attributes Sagata's immense popularity to his earnest and dedicated approach to promoting the console. Yamada also shares a memorable anecdote about filming a commercial involving an explosion, highlighting Fujioka's surprising dedication, which reminded Yamada of the actor's past roles as a hero. Both the producer and the actor see the Sagata Sanshiro Serious Match game as the ultimate realization of the Sagata world concept, encouraging fans to fully immerse themselves in it. The page effectively connects the commercial success to the upcoming game, showing the dedication that went into creating the character. This page dives into the wacky world of Sagata Sanshiro Shinken Yugi, showcasing several of the mini-games that make up this unique title. As expected for the game starring Sega's legendary mascot, these challenges are directly inspired by his iconic, often bizarre, television commercials. The page highlights examples like the challenges based on the Disco, Saturn Bomberman, Santa Claus, Solo Crisis, Ashazel, and Winter Heat commercials. The developers have taken the scenarios from these famous ads and turned them into playable, albeit strange, minigames. The content reveals that these are deliberate parodies, sometimes even straying wildly from their source material, which adds to the game's unpredictable charm. A major draw for fans is that clearing the minigames unlocks footage of the actual TV commercials, including previously unreleased material, fully immersing players in the Sagata world that fans came to love. It's clear the anticipation is high for how these bizarre concepts translate into gameplay, and what secrets about Sagata await discovery. This page continues the exploration of the Sagata Sanshiro Shinken Yugi game, highlighting more minigames based on his iconic commercials. Featured here are challenges inspired by the Burning Rangers, Pro Yaku Greatest 998, Dragon Force 2, and Deep Fear advertisements, each turning the commercial scenario into a unique gameplay experience. The content also touches on the future of the Sagata character himself, mentioning that despite the game being based on past commercials, there's hope for his character to appear in future software, even years down the line, according to producer Hamada. Adding to the Sagata universe, there's news of a PC release, Sagata Sanshiro Database and Desktop Accessory, for Windows and Macintosh, described as humorous and silly, including a database and desktop accessories, with screenshots showing a dollhouse-like setup and a barrel-themed game. Lastly, the page announces a prize campaign offering Sagata Sanshiro goods like t-shirts and dolls to lucky winners. It's evident Sega was leveraging the popularity of the Sagata character beyond the Saturn game itself.
This page features a look at the upcoming game, Real Mahjong Adventure Summer Waltz. The page showcases the title prominently, overlaid with anime-style illustrations of characters and beach scenes, emphasizing the summer theme. The text introduces this title as the 7th entry in SEGA's well-known Super Real Mahjong series. While rooted in Mahjong, the series is highlighted for its appealing characters and has a strong history in arcades before being ported to consoles. This installment, Summer Waltz, shifts focus to an adventure game format, set during summer by the sea. It features 7 heroines drawn from the PV and PVI titles within the series. The game promises players the chance to interact with these characters in everyday scenarios, offering a deeper connection beyond the usual Mahjong gameplay. Visuals on the page include character art, a dramatic screenshot showing 2 girls in yukata, and a scene of a girl trying on a bikini. The game is noted as an adventure title from SEGA, slated for release on November 5th at a price of 6,800 yen. It is recommended for all ages and supports 1 player. This page presents details on an adventure game titled My Summer Vacation, setting off in search of fossils and encounters. Set in the scenic town of Hamagasaki, known for both its beautiful scenery and abundance of fossils, the game puts the player in the role of a fossil enthusiast who arrives to participate in the Fossil Grand Prix during a month-long summer stay. Beyond fossil hunting, a key goal is to make wonderful encounters with cute girls. The game features 7 heroines drawn from the popular Super Real Mahjong series titles, specifically PV and PVI. The characters from PV, Mizuki, Akira, and Aya, arrive in Hamagasaki on a trip together, not as a Mahjong training camp. Similarly, pairs of heroines from PVI, Tamami, and Mari, along with Yukari and Chris, also happen to be visiting the town, setting up accidental encounters for the player. Visuals include a large illustration of the heroines wearing yukata, suggesting a summer festival atmosphere, and screenshots showing the protagonist interacting with a fossil box and navigating the town via a map screen, which indicates locations where heroines can be found. The premise blends exploration and character interaction within the familiar world of the Super Real Mahjong series. Each person's feelings head towards the Sea of Hamagasaki is an adventure game set in Hamagasaki. The game focuses on the 7 heroines' personal motivations for visiting the town, beyond the Fossil Grand Prix. 3 heroines are introduced: Mizuki, drawn by the trip and her desire for a puppy; Akira, who seeks to reconnect with a childhood crush; and Rio, who hopes to honor her late grandmother by participating in a ceremony. Gameplay takes place in August 1998, with weekdays dedicated to automated fossil hunting for the Grand Prix, and weekends for exploring the town, interacting with heroines, and triggering events. The cycle continues until August 31st, leading to the Grand Prix results and relationship-based endings. The game features 50 fossil types, categorized by shape. This page introduces 4 more heroines from the Hamagasaki adventure game and details the crucial weekend gameplay. We meet Tamami Kayama, voiced by Chizuko Toyoshima, motivated by a desire to find a boyfriend after lying about having one. Next is Mari Kurihara, voiced by Mihoyo Yanagisawa, a nursery school teacher seeking a fateful encounter. Chris Garland, voiced by Kaori Koyama, is an intriguing character, a Japanese culture enthusiast interested in a novel titled The Swordsmith's Son, whose life story seems to draw her into a scheme. Finally, Yukari Kunikyu, voiced by Ri Osuka, finds interest in a local festival through a library book and discovers a mysterious necklace while swimming. The core weekend gameplay is highlighted, allowing players complete freedom from the Fossil Grand Prix. Players can move around Hamagasaki 3 times a day: morning, noon, and night. Events and characters encountered vary based on the time and location, and the heroines themselves move with their own objectives, requiring players to strategically think about where and when to look for the character they want to meet. Developing a close relationship with a heroine unlocks the ability to invite them on a date, starting from Friday night and continuing throughout the weekend for more focused time together. This page takes a deeper dive into the systems of real Mahjong adventure. Fossil Grand Prix. It highlights the 2 main conversation modes: the standard choice selection you'd expect in an adventure game, and the active talk system, ATS. ATS is more dynamic, presenting the response text up front while the other character is still speaking, requiring you to decide when to interject, with the timing influencing the outcome, much like real conversation. Traditional choices are still present for other situations, We also learn about the minigames, which aren't just about winning. Sometimes, strategically losing or performing specific actions, like helping someone collect butterflies, is crucial for advancing relationships or triggering events. The swimming minigame shown, featuring characters introduced on the previous page, like Tamami and Yukari, is an example where participation matters more than just victory. The game includes an autoplay mode for those who want to simply experience the story unfold. A key element is tracking character relationships. While the protagonist's feelings aren't explicitly shown, the innkeeper, Auntie Kosaka, has a keen eye and can offer hints based on your interactions. Intimacy levels significantly impact dialogue, as demonstrated with character Mizuki, showing different responses based on how close you are. Finally, the game boasts a large supporting cast, with over 30 guest characters, including potential romance rivals. Surprisingly, 4 characters from the related title, PS7, also make an appearance, specifically during the fossil trading segment of the game. This page delves into the events of the first day of the Hamagasaki Tour in Real Mahjong Adventure, Fossil Grand Prix. It breaks down the day into 3 parts: morning, daytime, and night. The refreshing morning section shows you starting the day, perhaps interacting with characters like Yukari in a park or feeding pigeons, highlighting the initial opportunities to engage with the heroines. The active daytime shifts to the beach, featuring characters like Aya and Mizuki. A dramatic event is highlighted, where Aya nearly drowns, and Yukari performs artificial respiration, demonstrating how interactions and events unfold, impacting relationships and story progression. Finally, the Night Where Love Doesn't Fade section focuses on a fireworks display. You have the choice to watch the fireworks with 2 or 3 people, influencing the outcome and reflecting the intimacy levels built throughout the day. Screenshots show characters like Tamami, Mari, and Mizuki enjoying the event, and a selection screen indicates you can choose which heroine to spend this time with, showcasing the game's relationship system in action. The events of the day dynamically change based on your actions and choices, making each playthrough potentially unique. This page features an in-depth interview with the key developers behind Real Mahjong Adventure: Summer Waltz, director and scenario writer Masayuki Hoshino, and scenario writer Ichiro Tezuka. They discuss the game's concept, which is to show the everyday lives and deeper personalities of characters from the Real Mahjong series, specifically drawing from characters popular in games like V&V, while also introducing new faces. The developers explain that the goal is to create an adventure game experience where players can build genuine relationships with the heroines, going beyond just the mahjong matches. The interview highlights the game's extensive branching story, which is heavily influenced by player choices and interactions. They mention the scenario script grew to over 4,000 sheets, indicating the complexity of the divergent paths. Depending on who the player meets and interacts with, dialogue and events change significantly. The developers emphasize that the true enjoyment of Summer Waltz comes from experiencing these unique story paths with your chosen heroine, uncovering sides of them never seen before. They note that while pursuing multiple heroines simultaneously might be challenging, the game is designed for players to immerse themselves in a personalized story with their favorite character, embodying the core appeal of adventure games. Screenshots accompany the text, showing character dialogue scenes. This page continues the interview with Masayuki Hoshino and Ichiro Tezuka about Real Mahjong Adventure: Summer Waltz. They delve further into how the game aims for immersion, discussing subtle presentation techniques like showing characters alongside the player character to enhance the feeling of being there, as shown in a screenshot featuring multiple characters. The developers highlight the game's significant replayability under the theme of change. They explain that the game isn't meant to be finished after a single playthrough, as character expressions and appearances vary, and events unfold differently. A unique element mentioned is the collection of fossils, and the interview touches on whether this collection is tied to clearing the game. The conversation also touches upon a specific character or story element known as the mermaid legend. A key topic is the multiple endings available. They confirm at least 7 different endings, adding substantial depth for players seeking to see all outcomes. A screenshot related to stopping the player character is shown in this section. Finally, they discuss the concept of an ultimate story that unfolds based on specific player choices, illustrated by a romantic scene screenshot. The profile for scenario writer Ichiro Tezuka is included, noting his previous work on titles like Alundra. This page dives into Digital Monster Verdot's Digimon Tamers for the SEGA Saturn, which had recently been released. It asks if you've played it yet, introducing it as the game where original Digimons appear and focusing on the mysterious item, the new new Digiegg, and its potential for new evolutions. The article explains that to get the original Digimon, you need this new Digiegg.
This item is key for combining two Digimon.
The game's content focuses on these new elements and how to obtain them. The new Digiegg is said to appear based on information from the Digimon Research Lab or the Internet, suggesting some interactive or online component might be involved. Screenshots illustrate the combination process. You select two Digimons, and they are absorbed into the new Digiegg, which then shines, resulting in a new Digimon. A specific example is shown. Combining Airdramon and Kabutoraimon yields a Gorimon. The page also mentions collecting Digimon cards and the goal of becoming a top tamer. The game is described as a training simulation, single player only, priced at 5,800 yen and released on September 23rd. There's also a link to the official Digimon website for more information. The page features large illustrations of Airdramon and Kabutoraimon, along with a small image of Gatomon, Plotmon, near the title. This article offers advice for raising Digimon in Digital Monster Ver.'s Digimon Tamers. It recommends raising multiple champion-level Digimon concurrently for efficiency. Obtaining the new Digiegg from the shop is crucial for combinations, unlocked after gameplay. Digimon combinations using this egg have compatibility, with poor matches resulting in a weak Gokimon. The egg always produces ultimate-level Digimon, with 5 types available, each capable of Mega Evolution. The text introduces 5 new Digimons: Gorimon, Evilethimon, Numamon, Gessamon, and Gatomon. The ultimate goal is to raise a Digimon to its peak form, with Gatomon being particularly prized for its potential and popularity. This page provides an in-depth look at Striker's 1945-2 for the SEGA Saturn, a fast-paced vertical scrolling shooter. The article sets the scene, describing the game's setting right after the previous installment, where a mysterious organization called FGR emerges. The Strikers are called back into action to confront this new threat. The article emphasizes that while the enemy weaponry is based on the previous game, their strength has significantly increased, making knowledge of the game's fundamentals crucial for survival. It encourages players to understand the details provided to prepare for battle. Key sections break down the game's different modes and settings. The first screen allows selection between various display modes like Original 1 Standard, Original 2 Vertical Scrolling. Same balance as Arcade, but harder to play until you're used to it.
Arcade requires a vertical TV setup to replicate the arcade experience. Fighters Index, view information on the 6 playable planes and support aircraft. And Demo, watch the opening movie. The second menu screen, accessed after selecting a mode like Original 1, presents options such as Game Start, Game Level, offering 7 difficulty settings from Monkey to Very Hard, Option, for adjusting lives, 1-up conditions, audio and control settings, Ranking, view high scores, and Exit, return to the mode select. The article notes that the port features an enthusiastic opening movie, with narration by Shinosuke Tanaka. The game was released on October 22nd, priced at 5,800 yen, and supports 2-player simultaneous play.
This page delves deeper into Striker's 1945-2, focusing on its unique stage structure and gameplay philosophy. The article highlights that the first 4 stages are randomly selected, with the difficulty influenced by your current shot level and playtime, meaning there's no single fixed strategy for the early game. The bosses in these stages also offer varied, transforming attacks that adapt with each play. The stage structure is broken down into 4 random types: Sky, Sea, Valley, and City, followed by fixed later stages: Desert, Mountain, Base, and the final stage. Beyond the initial random levels, the difficulty ramps up significantly. These later stages have set patterns but demand greater precision. And unlike the earlier parts, continuing after defeat sends you back to the very beginning of the stage, not where you left off. The column on the right discusses why Strikers is considered a masterpiece, arguing that unlike many modern shooters focused on dodging dense bullet patterns, Strikers emphasizes the shoot aspect of aerial combat realism. The satisfaction comes from actively engaging and destroying enemies, rather than simply avoiding their fire. The author feels this return to core shooting mechanics captures the intensity and thrill missing from some other titles. The screenshots showcase the varied environments of the random stages: Sky, Sea, Valley, City, and the challenging boss encounters, as well as the distinct look of Stage 5, Desert, and Stage 6, Mountain Base. This page previews the upcoming SEGA Saturn port of Farland Saga, Toki no Michi Shirube from TGL. set to release on December 3rd. This simulation RPG features Corinne, a key character from the previous game, now taking the lead role 8 years later as a grown adventurer. Leaving her small island home, Corinne travels to the continent, using her powerful explosion magic. The story follows her as she explores a bustling port town, meets new companions like the mysterious owl who has lost his memories, and gets drawn into challenging events. The article highlights that this version is a port and will feature full voice acting for the characters, adding depth to the experience. The maker's comment expresses excitement for the game, particularly praising Corinne and the inclusion of full voice work. Screenshots show dialogue scenes featuring character portraits and the tactical battle map gameplay. The standard edition costs 6,800 yen, with a first press limited edition available for 7,800 yen that includes an original telephone card. The game is recommended for all ages and is compatible with the SEGA Saturn shuttle mouse. This page continues the preview of Farland Saga, Toki no Michi Shirube, detailing the core gameplay loop and introducing key characters. The headline highlights Corinne's determination to make a name for herself by accepting any job. The article explains the flow. Adventurers register at the guild in the central trade city of Attracta, accept requests matched to their level, gather information by exploring the town, engage in tactical simulation RPG battles to defeat enemies and solve the case, and finally return to the guild for their reward, gold and bounty. This money is then used to prepare for the next job. Screenshots illustrate the town map for navigation, dialogue scenes during investigation, the grid-based battle screen, and the reward screen. The initial quest involves finding Alice, the runaway daughter of Attracta's wealthiest man, McDougal. Although Corinne and her companions convince Alice to return, she is subsequently kidnapped, setting up the first major mystery. Character profiles are provided for Corinne, the protagonist, described as a powerful mage who overcame childhood trauma but retains nyctophobia. Alice is introduced as a wealthy, sheltered girl who ran away but is a capable magic user and joins the party. Radish is a friendly, amnesiac poet working at the church, close to Alice, and also joins as a companion, known for his cheerful but somewhat unreliable nature. Dialogue snippets from Radish and Alice are included, hinting at their personalities and motivations. This page is a preview of upcoming SEGA Saturn software, specifically focusing on the third volume of the Capcom Generation compilation series, which highlights the origins of Capcom. The article kicks off with Vulgus, Capcom's very first arcade video game. Described as a vertical shooter, the game was noted for its surprisingly detailed graphics for the time and its simple yet captivating gameplay, which drew many players. Screenshots show the distinct purple landscape and the player ship engaging enemies, mentioning the rapid-fire twin shot and the importance of collecting POW items to increase firepower. The text emphasizes that this game is a foundational piece of Capcom's history. Following Vulgus is Sunsen, Capcom's second arcade title. This is a horizontal scrolling action game based on the classic Chinese novel Journey to the West. Players control Sunsen and Taunton, fighting through enemies to reach Tenjiku, India, to retrieve scriptures. The game is highlighted for its cute characters and engaging shooting action, noting its popularity led to a port on the Famicom. Screenshots depict the side-scrolling gameplay with the characters navigating platforms and battling foes, including scenes on structures resembling the Great Wall. The article points out the scattered food items for points, but warns against getting distracted, as enemies appear frequently from both directions. Capcom Generation Volume 3 promises to include these and other historical Capcom titles, presenting them as essential experiences for anyone wanting to understand the company's roots. Capcom Generation Volume 3 for Sega Saturn showcases two arcade classics, Pirate Ship Hijamaru and X'd X's. Pirate Ship Hijamaru, Capcom's third game, September 1984, is a single-player puzzle action title where players throw barrels to defeat pirate enemies and strategically create space. X'd X's, Capcom's fifth release, February 1985, is a challenging vertical shooter featuring rapid-fire combat and two-player co-op. The compilation, slated for an October 15th release at 5,800 yen, also includes Capcom's first and second arcade games. A collection mode provides additional content like illustrations, strategy guides, and sound tests, enhancing the experience. The compilation revives these early Capcom titles, offering a nostalgic journey for fans. The next page features the Sega Saturn Gamebat Guine, Uragiri no Senju. This title is a hybrid game offering both simulation and adventure modes. The simulation mode is a turn-based tactical battle system, where you command units called shells against enemy Regulses, completing objectives like eliminating all enemies. Key mechanics include burning point and synchro level, which affect unit performance, and abilities like burning. The adventure mode allows you to gather information, talk to teammates, and manage equipment and tuning in the underground shell hangar before missions. The story is set in Tokyo in 2008, where the police's special mobile unit is formed to combat mysterious monsters known as Regulses. The game is the second part of a three-part series and includes over 40 minutes of animated movies. It allows you to carry over save data from the previous entry, Awakening Chapter, and even includes a digest version of the first game for newcomers. Reviewer comments mention the game is substantial, long, with intense battles, promising new characters and plot developments. Screenshots show the tactical grid combat and the character interaction scenes in adventure mode, along with character profiles including the protagonist and a character named Natsumi Midorikawa. The game was released on October 1st for 5,800 yen.
This page continues the deep dive into the SEGA Saturn Gain Back Gwainer, detailing the evolving storyline and introducing key characters. The central plot point highlighted here is the disappearance, or perhaps capture, of Commander Sagawa, leaving the special mobile unit in turmoil as a new, acting commander is appointed. The text emphasizes the emergence of a new, powerful enemy following this event. One striking quote mentioned is, "That person is a vessel for someone important," hinting at the true nature of the threat or Sagawa's fate. The page features portraits and brief descriptions of several characters who play significant roles in this new chapter. These include Hibiki Aida, who takes over as temporary commander, Eri Miyashita, Nanami Hayama, Kaname Yadai, Go Hoshina, and Maiko Suzuki. Each character's profile gives a glimpse into their personality or role within the unit. Screenshots accompany the text, showing dramatic moments like an explosion, character interactions related to the command change, and possibly glimpses of the new enemy or their capabilities. This coverage makes it clear the game ramps up the drama and challenges significantly after the events of the first installment, focusing on the human element within the sci-fi mecha combat. This page is dedicated to the upcoming SEGA Saturn release of the Water Balls, known in Japan as Mizubaku Daiboken. Described as a heartwarming action game, it's based on the popular arcade title that also saw a port to the PC Engine. The game is a side-scrolling action-adventure starring Hippopo, a brave hippo and descendant of a water magician, on a quest to rescue his beloved Tamasun from the fiery clutches of Fire Satan. Hippopo must restore peace to their home, Woody Lake, which has been engulfed in flames. Gameplay revolves around Hippo's unique ability to use water bombs. Players stun enemies by hitting them with these water droplets, and then finish them off by charging into them. A clever mechanic allows players to hold the attack button to inflate the water bombs, increasing their power and the splash effect upon explosion, which also has a stunning effect on foes. The game features simple controls, making it easy for anyone to pick up and enjoy, even those less familiar with action games. Adding to the fun are vehicles that Hippo can ride, often utilizing the power of water flow to move. There are also branching paths after clearing levels, changing the stages you encounter. The page notes the game's quick pace and charming characters, both heroes and enemies, as key selling points. There's even a humorous note about obtaining a water bomb handler license, which is only useful in the game's world. This page continues the feature on the upcoming SEGA Saturn title, The Water Balls. It delves into the game's mechanics, structure, and introduces some of the challenges Hippopo will face. The page highlights several key items players can pick up, including power-ups for Hippocopo's water bombs like the pistol for rapid firing and the snake mouth for a temporary large bomb ability. There are also score-boosting items like cakes and offensive items like thunder, which stuns or defeats enemies on screen. The game is structured into 7 rounds, each divided into multiple stages. Clearing a stage involves reaching the goal, but players must be mindful of the timer. If you dawdle, a persistent character appears to chase you, preventing pattern abuse. The end of each round features a challenging giant boss battle, described as a one-on-one confrontation. Several stages are shown with screenshots, giving a glimpse of the diverse environments. Stage 22 appears to be a waterland, with floating rings. Stage 31 halves showcases a mechanical setting, while Stage 4-1-1 takes place in a pyramid with traps. Finally, the page teases the strong boss characters, featuring a large, fiery, rabbit-like creature with a heart, emphasizing that these bosses will test Hippopo's skills. This page introduces the upcoming SEGA Saturn simulation game, Boldyland, where players guide the cute boldies to victory against a rival race. The objective involves smart strategy and leveraging the various buildings and tools the boldies create. Highlighted here is the game's completion status at 98% and basic details like its November 19, 1998 release date. Status as a single-player simulation title, recommended for all ages. A developer comment notes the charm of watching the boldies' distinct movements, especially their reactions in combat or when facing danger. A key mechanic is the building system, shown via an upgrade tree starting with a simple house. Players expand this to unlock various structures like homes and castles, which are crucial for increasing workers and defense, bases that produce soldiers, and labs where scientists research inventions. The battle unfolds across diverse environments, categorized into 4 distinct worlds. 2 are previewed: the warm and peaceful grassland, often serving as the setting for early stages, and the snowy snowfield. The graphical appearance of enemies, buildings, and inventions changes significantly, depending on the world the stage is set in. In Boldyland, inventions are key to victory. Developed by scientists in labs, they are either created directly or require collecting materials found on the map. Inventions are categorized as action or hazard types. Action inventions provide immediate, powerful effects on targets, while hazard inventions act as traps. Many hazard types require a scientist to be outside the lab for placement, adding a strategic element. Players also have direct control. They can shape the terrain with tools, move units, and grant boldies wings. Wings offer a crucial strategic advantage for targeted attacks. Understanding both invention types and player-controlled actions is essential for success in Boldyland. This page previews the upcoming SEGA Saturn game, Hatsukoi Monogatari, a first love-raising simulation. The artwork features several charming anime-style heroines. The game is described as a simulation where players schedule the protagonist's actions on a time-unit basis, engage in conversations with heroines, and improve themselves to achieve their first love. A notable feature is the variety of first love scenarios, with 27 possibilities derived from combinations of 3 key items, each having 3 variations. Key information provided indicates the game is published by Tokuma Shuten and Intermedia Company, with a planned release date of October 1st at a price of 5,800 yen. It is rated for players 18 and over and supports only 1 player. A completion rate 100% box suggests the game is ready for release. The commentary highlights that first love is different for everyone, and encourages players to experience their own version in the game. Small screenshots show dialogue and in-game scenes. This page continues the preview of Hatsukoi Monogatari, delving into specific examples of the first love scenarios available in the game. It highlights how the protagonist's age influences the heroines they encounter and the types of events that unfold. The core mechanic involves scheduling the protagonist's day and night activities, such as studying or exercising, to improve parameters, as well as engaging in social interactions, like talking or going on dates. Fulfilling certain conditions can trigger special events that significantly increase the heroine's affection. The page presents 3 distinct cases based on the protagonist's age. Case 1 focuses on elementary school, featuring the energetic and talented swimmer, Risa Joshima. Screenshots show moments like meeting her at a bookshop, a dream where the protagonist is a hero saving her, and cheering her on at a swimming competition. Case 2 covers middle school, introducing the quiet and somewhat frail Ruri Mizuki, who is half Japanese and dreams of becoming an actress. Events include consulting with a teacher about her, an acting contest scene, and a dream where she proposes marriage. Finally, Case 3 explores high school with Tomomi Kataoka, a skilled flutist who seems mature. Examples include helping her on the train, encountering her unexpectedly at the beach, and a slightly awkward shopping trip. These examples demonstrate the variety of relationships and events players can experience as they pursue their first love across different stages of the protagonist's youth. Sakura Diaries, an adventure game based on the manga, is coming soon for the Sega Saturn, priced at 6,800 yen and slated for October 1st. Aimed at ages 18+, it's a single-player experience and a remake, offering a new perspective on the original story. A bonus CD single with 2 songs accompanies the first print run. Gameplay revolves around choices and minigames, influencing the narrative
and potentially diverging from the manga. Players can follow the original plot or explore alternative outcomes. The human relationships in Kamikyo section highlights key characters and their connections to the protagonists, including potential love interests like Rei Kasuga and Mikiko Yotsuba. These relationships evolve based on player choices. Screenshots preview indoor and outdoor scenes, including dramatic moments, promising a faithful adaptation of the Sakura Diaries world. This page delves deeper into the narrative of Sakura Diaries, focusing on the protagonist Tokuma in Akuba's experiences. It chronicles his eventful journey, starting with his arrival in Tokyo for university entrance exams, his strong desire to pass to avoid his family's expectations, and the unexpected events that unfold. The story is broken down into key moments. The night before the exam, where Tuma encounters a mysterious, beautiful high school girl who enters his hotel room uninvited. His interaction with another girl during the exam period, seemingly related to the test itself or results. The announcement of the exam results, which are unfavorable for Tuma, and his subsequent move to Tokyo to attend prep school while living with his uncle. A significant plot point highlighted is his reunion with the girl from the hotel, revealing she lives near his new residence. The page teases various dramatic encounters and dialogue choices, including a particularly memorable scene featuring the girl wearing only an apron, hinting at the game's romantic and potentially risque elements. The screenshots illustrate these plot points, showcasing character interactions in key environments like the hotel room, exam results board, and the new Tokyo residence. This page introduces a new falling block puzzle game for the SEGA Saturn, called Rocks 6 = 6. The game features a unique dice motif, where blocks are cleared based on both their number, dice dots, and color. The core mechanic involves clearing blocks positioned between two matching blocks by leaving a gap equivalent to the number on the dice. Color matching also plays a crucial role, allowing for mass clearing of blocks between two matching colored blocks. The game offers two modes: single mode for solo play, with increasing difficulty based on block variety, and versus mode for head-to-head battles. In versus mode, clearing blocks sends obstacle blocks to your opponent, adding a competitive edge. The page also highlights a special item, the flashball, which can clear surrounding blocks unconditionally, serving as a helpful tool in tight spots. The overall impression is that while it might look complex initially, the game is designed to be addictive and requires both strategic thinking and quick reflexes for mastering chain reactions and clearing all levels. This page features Honkaku Hanafuda, authentic Hanafuda, for the SEGA Saturn, developed by Ultron, and set for release in late October 1998. This title delivers a deep dive into the world of Hanafuda, offering three popular game variations: the classic Koi Koi, the lesser-known Hana Awase, and the gambling favorite, Oicho Kabu. The game focuses on recreating the authentic tension and strategy of Hanafuda. It includes multiple modes to cater to different players. There's a free mode where you can customize rules, an explanation mode perfect for newcomers to learn the ropes and different scoring hands, and a story mode titled Traveling the Province's Hanafuda Scroll. In story mode, you journey across Japan, challenging various CPU opponents with unique personalities and rules, providing a narrative backdrop to the card battles. The visuals showcase gameplay screens for each variant, character portraits for opponents, and scenic backdrops from the story mode. This game is designed to be a comprehensive package for anyone interested in traditional Japanese card games, from absolute beginners to seasoned players. This page dives into Winning Post 3 Program 98, presented as the latest grade-up version of the popular authentic horse racing simulation series. The core concept remains creating your own bloodline and taking on the world's turf. The game features breeding, training, and racing horses, aiming to build a prestigious stable. Key improvements in this 98 edition include the ability to edit your own stallions, allowing for unique breeding possibilities. The introduction of rival stable owners adds significant drama and competition, creating compelling narratives as you race against them. The training system has been enhanced, giving players more control over their horse's development. Finally, the game data has been updated, including new local exchange races and Japanese record updates, ensuring a fresh and deep simulation experience. Screenshots show horses in action, character portraits of stable owners, and detailed race data screens. This page presents Yoshimoto Mahjong Club, a unique mahjong game based on the popular TV show of the same name from Kansai, Japan. The game brings together over 25 famous Yoshimoto Kogyo talents, allowing players to face off against them in mahjong matches. It features a free match mode for casual play with adjustable opponent levels, and a rank certification mode where players compete in tournaments to increase their ranking. The game utilizes polygon models for the characters, capturing their reactions and providing options for both 2D and 3D gameplay perspectives. Players can expect engaging and often hilarious matches against a roster of well-known comedians and performers. The game also features participation from professional mahjong player Mataro Nada. This page showcases the King of Fighters Best Collection, bringing 3 fan-favorite King of Fighters titles, 95, 96, and 97, to the SEGA Saturn as a set. Offered at a very reasonable price of 6,800 yen, this collection requires the 1 MB or 4 MB expansion RAM cartridge to deliver arcade-perfect fighting action. The King of Fighters series is celebrated for its dream matches, featuring characters from various SNK franchises. This collection allows players to experience the evolution of the series. King of Fighters 95 introduced iconic rivals like Iori Yagami, and featured a notable counter system. King of Fighters 96 brought in a powerful boss team, including Geese Howard, and revamped the evasion system for more aggressive play. King of Fighters 97 offered significant system advancements with its advanced and extra modes, refined dodges and cancels, and introduced the compelling Orochi Saga characters like Yashiro, Shermie, and Chris. The page highlights specific character appearances, such as Athena Asamiya returning, Kasumi Todo debuting in 96 alongside Mature and Vice, and the terrifying presence of the Orochi team. Screenshots show gameplay from each title, mode select screens, and character select menus, emphasizing the diverse roster and fighting systems. It's presented as the definitive way for SEGA Saturn owners to experience the pinnacle of the KOF series from this era. This page is the vibrant cover of the Dreamcast magazine section, announcing the latest information about Sega's upcoming console. Dated October 9, 1998, it's intriguingly titled Provisional Inaugural Issue No. 6 and has a special price of 0 yen, suggesting it might be a promotional preview. The cover explodes with colorful, cartoon mascots embodying energetic actions like jump, attack, and dash. The table of contents teases exciting content, including a Dreamcast magazine data station. There's a look at Pen Pen Tricelon, one of the early Dreamcast titles known for its unique triathlon gameplay featuring penguins and other characters, with hints about fun course mechanics. Godzilla Generations is also featured, with a focus on the USA version and answering fan questions. Finally, the Dreamcast Now segment debuts, ready to cover video systems like the Dreamcast and Sega's powerful Naomi arcade board, starting with the racing title F1 World Grand Prix. The Dreamcast magazine data station provides a snapshot of pre-launch excitement. Reader surveys rank anticipated titles, with Sonic Adventure leading the pack, followed by D2 and Blue Stinger. The magazine features a top 12 ranking, including titles like July, the pickup title praised for its freedom, and others like Godzilla Generations. The Coming Soon section highlights the expected Virtua Fighter 3 TB port, raising questions about its arcade-to-console fidelity. Finally, a table lists confirmed release titles, detailing dates, prices, genres, and compatibility information for a range of games, including those mentioned in the rankings and features. This issue of the Dreamcast data station focuses on the console's potential and the arcade scene. A user data top 20 list reveals the games players desire to see ported. The article explores how Sega's Naomi arcade board, with architecture similar to Dreamcast, may reshape the definition of a port. A shop data top 15 ranks popular arcade games. The Naomi Whirlwind section highlights Sega's new arcade board, showcasing its presence at the AM show and the excitement around Naomi-based titles, particularly the House of the Dead series. The featured game is the House of the Dead 2, coming to Naomi, with its graphics compared to the original. Smaller previews cover Blood Bullet and Dynamite Baseball 98, also appearing on Naomi. This page dives into Pen Tricelon, an action race game set to launch alongside the Dreamcast console. The vibrant visuals showcase the peculiar Pen characters racing across varied landscapes, blending snowy and tropical environments, which hints at the Tricelon aspect of the title. The article confirms development is well underway, with course layouts and race mechanics nearing completion. A significant point is the announcement of a playable demo at the upcoming Tokyo Game Show in October, allowing players to experience the game firsthand. It introduces the core gameplay concept, focusing on basic controls and a unique mechanic called stroke. Unlike conventional racing games, stroke involves using the character's arms to propel themselves, acting as the primary acceleration method. The description highlights that while the operation is simple, mastering the timing of the stroke is crucial, promising a game that's easy to pick up but offers depth, living up to the simple controls, deep gameplay mantra. The game supports up to 8 racers, including AI, and mentions that interacting with rivals via direct attacks is possible, and course gimmicks can either help or hinder progress. The chance to see the characters live at the Tokyo Game Show is emphasized, noting their humorous expressions and unique, seemingly rubbery appearance. This title appears to be one of the key diverse offerings planned for the new Dreamcast platform, fitting into the general entertainment category beyond just traditional genres discussed on the previous page. This page continues exploring Pen Pen Tricelon, detailing specific course elements and refining explanations of its mechanics. The game, set to launch with the Dreamcast, features varied environments, each with unique gimmicks. You'll find peculiar tree fruits in the candy course that slow you down if hit, but strategically, they roll and can obstruct opponents. The toy course introduces bouncy bobbin balls and walls. Hitting them sends you rebounding, while mastering a jump over the balls can grant a speed boost. In the ice course, snow statues of Gapoko serve as obstacles that cause a slight time loss upon collision, though destroying them provides a satisfying visual effect. Be careful not to get too distracted smashing them. There's also a precarious shaky bridge, where maintaining balance is key to pulling ahead, as falling means landing in deep, time-consuming snow. The article further elaborates on the signature stroke mechanic. This single action handles both acceleration and braking. A quick button tap provides a half stroke for basic movement, while holding the button performs a powerful full stroke. Braking is achieved by easing up on the stroke intensity, effectively sweetening it, which is also how sharp turns are managed. The swimming variant of the stroke adds a vertical component not present in sliding. The reviewer praises the stroke system as surprisingly deep, noting its strategic importance, especially in competitive play where the rhythm of your stroke can be influenced by the opponent's actions. This page dives deeper into the running mode of Pen Pen Tricelon, highlighting its distinct action focus compared to the sliding and swimming sections. As a seasoned player, I can tell you the analog stick controls movement, and hitting the attack button is crucial for gaining an edge. Landing a successful hit can briefly incapacitate an opponent, but a miss will cause you to stumble and lose valuable time. The key is to attack from your direction of movement, making it easier to connect and overtake rivals. The page also details several course-specific gimmicks. In the toy course, watch out for the giant block clock's swinging pendulums. Getting hit slows you down, but they can also obstruct opponents. The hideaway course features a massive kraken in a cave. While intimidating in size, it's docile and won't actively harm you. The horror course is home to rattling skeletons that slow you down if you collide with them, though breaking them is satisfyingly destructive. A unique feature highlighted is the rushing zone found in each running course. These areas contain grand gimmicks designed for potential comeback opportunities. The candy course's rushing zone features whooshing wafer windmills that blast wind from all directions, making forward progress difficult and often leading to a chaotic pileup of competitors in the center. Perfect for a frantic battle. Pen Pen Tricelon features a challenging spinning hall zone in the hideaway course, where a rotating floor creates a frenetic battle for survival. The floor's speed adjusts based on the number of players present, offering strategic escape opportunities. Players must master jump controls, a button, to dodge attacks. Each Pen Pen possesses unique attack animations. Developers from Landho are enthusiastic about the upcoming game show demo, highlighting the dynamic action of numerous characters and evolving environments. They emphasize the game's intuitive controls, allowing players to experience the full thrill of running and sliding. A nearly complete version is available for play. Readers can also enter a contest to win Pen Pen t-shirts, designed by Mitake-san. This page showcases Godzilla Generations for the Dreamcast, highlighting some of the iconic monsters featured in the game. The main title proclaims the arrival of Godzilla's rivals. Screenshots depict Mechagodzilla, USA Godzilla, Manila, and the Heisei-era Godzilla rampaging through cityscapes, demonstrating the destructive nature of the gameplay. The article introduces several playable monsters, including the familiar Mechagodzilla, since 1974, described as the powerful robot replica. It also features the USA version of Godzilla, since 1998, which makes its first landing in Japan in this game, noted for its speed and unique design. The classic Manila, since 1967, Godzilla's son, is present, as is the Heisei version of Godzilla, since 1989. The game focuses on destroying environments, with a destroy percentage displayed. The article notes that players can freely control these different monsters, each with unique destructive abilities and weapon attacks that are faithfully reproduced on the Dreamcast. Development questions about the game's content are also mentioned. The game is listed as an action title, planned for release in 1998, with the price yet to be determined. This page delves deeper into Godzilla Generations, focusing on its destructive gameplay set in Tokyo. The article showcases the iconic Japanese capital as the battleground, featuring faithful recreations of famous locations like Shinjuku, Ginza, and Tokyo Tower, all ripe for kaiju-sized destruction. Players will progress through these meticulously rendered cityscapes, aiming to unleash maximum chaos. The page also highlights Mechagodzilla's impressive arsenal, detailing its signature special attacks, such as the powerful Space Beam Eye, finger beams, and the cross-attack beam from its chest. Screenshots illustrate Mechagodzilla and other monsters laying waste to buildings in different Tokyo districts, along with the destroy percentage gauge indicating the scale of devastation. A Q&A section addresses player questions about the game. It confirms players start with a selected character, Heisei Godzilla and Mechagodzilla initially, and continue as them. Clarifies that stage clearing involves more than just 100% destruction. Explains that Godzilla's path mirrors the films, starting from regional cities before reaching Tokyo, and states enemies are primarily the JSDF and G-Force. The Generations title is revealed to signify the inclusion of various monster iterations like Heisei Godzilla, USA Godzilla, Manila, and Mechagodzilla. It also touches upon gameplay pacing and confirms the use of character theme music alongside famous tracks from Toho's Godzilla films. This page dives into the world of Dreamcast and the hopes surrounding the upcoming console. It highlights the company's readers most want to see developing games for the Dreamcast, presenting a top 20 list chosen by the readers themselves. The spotlight this week is on Video System, a company known for titles like the side-scrolling shooter Ravioleps and the aerial combat game Sonic Wings. The page showcases some of Video System's key works, including Super Volleyball, Fro1 Grand Prix, and Sonic Wings Assault, noting their releases on Sega platforms like the Mega Drive and Saturn, including popular Mahjong titles such as Idol Mahjong Final Romance 4. There's also a brief look at Capcom's latest action game running on the powerful Naomi arcade board, hinting at what might be coming to the Dreamcast. Finally, the section Satamaga Readers' Voices shares fan feedback, with readers expressing their hopes for specific game series, like Final Romance, Sonic Wings, and Ravioleps, to appear on the new console. The page also features a small piece showcasing fan-created pixel art for the Dreamcast's visual memory unit. This page celebrates the arrival of Dreamcast and Naomi onto the scene, featuring an interview with Yoshihiro Maeda from Video System, known for their Flame 1 World Grand Prix title. Maeda discusses the studio's strategy to release this highly realistic simulation game across multiple platforms, starting with PC, then targeting consoles like the N64 and Dreamcast, and finally the arcade with Naomi. He emphasizes the game's simulation depth, striving for realism down to tire wear and track details, aiming to make players consciously aware of subtle differences like tire brands. The interview also touches upon the development advantages of a PC base and the potential for synergy between Dreamcast and Naomi. The Checkpoints section confirms F1 World Grand Prix is a licensed simulation racer featuring real tracks and cars, praising its detail and realism, developed in collaboration with Paradigm Entertainment. The page concludes by noting the sudden and exciting entry of Dreamcast and Naomi into the market, generating anticipation for future releases. This page delves into the buzz surrounding the Dreamcast, starting with the mysterious codenames Sega used for its hardware and software development. It reveals that products like the Mega Drive's Power-Up, the Super 32X, was internally known as Mars, and there were even concepts like the integrated Neptune console. The STV arcade board went by Titan, and the Dreamcast itself had several internal names including Dural, Katana, and Black Belt. Software wasn't left out either, with Clockwork Knight being called EPAS and Panzer Dragoon known as Andromeda during development. There's even mention of a rumored hardware codename, Ninja, the origin of which remains a mystery. The page also features the second round of reader predictions for the Dreamcast's price and nickname. The collective guess for the console's price hovered around 25,000 yen, with various justifications ranging from manufacturing costs to competitive pricing. For nicknames, the clear favorites among readers were the straightforward Dorikyasu and DC. Finally, the magazine puts out a call for readers to send in their own rumors and questions about Sega and the Dreamcast via postcard. This page is all about Slank's upcoming handheld system, the Neo Geo Pocket. It announces the release date is set for October 28th. The system is highlighted as a high-performance, compact portable with communication features. They show off the sleek design and mention it comes in multiple colors. Alongside the hardware, there's a lineup of launch titles covering various genres like fighting games, simulations, sports, and puzzles, showcasing the system's potential. Accessories like a communication cable, AC adapter, and headphones are also detailed with their prices. A cool feature discussed is the optional wireless communication unit, allowing local multiplayer matches within a short range. The page also touches on other SNK happenings, including the King of Fighters Best Collection for the SEGA Saturn, which bundles KOF 95, 96, and 97. Finally, there's a segment on an ongoing SNK character popularity poll, revealing the current top characters are Yori Yagami, Kyo Kusanagi, and Mai Shiranui, and a call for fans to send in artwork and messages related to SNK for a chance to win prizes. It's clear SNK was pushing their brand hard across multiple platforms at the time. This page highlights new and operating arcade titles, Volume 30 of Arcade Express. The main focus is SNK and Saurus's action shooting sequel, Shock Troopers Second Squad, slated for an October release and supporting two-player simultaneous play on the MVS hardware. It's described as a simple yet refreshing game with diverse attack methods. You pick one of 4 combat specialists to battle through 5 main stages, featuring route branching for replayability. Key mechanics include switching between fixed and variable shooting, engaging in melee combat, and utilizing various vehicles which offer special attacks and temporary invincibility. The game emphasizes clearing multiple enemies for higher scores, with several score attack features implemented. Players can look forward to updated graphics and systems from the first game, with a strong focus on the exciting vehicle combat, close quarters attacks, and powerful charged shots, promising an addictive experience. The page also briefly mentions other arcade titles like Konami's Beatmania 3rd Mix and Taito's Chaos Heat and Darius Gaiden. This page continues the Arcade Express feature, putting the spotlight on Konami's Beatmania 3rd Mix, scheduled for a late September release. This music simulation title aims to appeal to a broad audience, from newcomers to veterans, by introducing significant updates. The game features over 12 new songs across various genres, some recorded in New York. Key additions include the new Easy Mode, which reduces the number of notes and makes gaining score easier for beginners, and the Expert Mode, a challenge where the score gauge starts full but doesn't increase during play. New play modes are also introduced, adding Battle Play, where 2 players compete head-to-head on the same song and conditions, alongside the existing Double Play and Hidden Play. The page also notes that Konami is releasing 2 more music simulation games this fall. Dance Dance Revolution, which uses foot panels synced to music and visuals, and Poppin' Music, similar to Beatmania but featuring 9 buttons and allowing for cooperative play. Both Dance Dance Revolution and Popsun Music are also slated for a late September debut. A brief comment from Konami highlights Battle Play and Expert Mode as the main points of excitement for players in this new version. This page features Chaos Heat, an arcade action shooting game developed by Taito, scheduled for operation in October. Titled Shoot the Shadow, the game is 100% complete in development and runs on Taito's G-Net board. The premise centers around battling a mysterious life form from space that absorbs various substances and mutates. The story begins with a strange cell arriving in Arizona, leading to a larger incident where the cell grows near the East Coast, incorporating everything around it. Players engage in 3D cyber action, a fusion of shooting and action, fighting grotesque mutated creatures. The game features 3 playable characters: Mituki, who is fast and balanced with a submachine gun; Rick Rider, a power type using a laser gun; and Vogt, who excels in speed with a knife and flamethrower. Each character has unique main weapons with standard, rapid, and charge shots, and different properties, Sub-weapons like launchers and napalm offer special attacks and can be changed via items. Progression involves clearing enemies in areas, or completing special missions like destroying specific obstacles under time pressure. Boss battles feature terrifying, mutated creatures at the end of each section. The game boasts branching routes, impacting the flow and ending. Taito highlights the game's rich attack variations, diverse routes, and the use of the GranChaNet board's data save function. This page showcases Ray Crisis, the latest entry in Taito's popular lock-on shooting series, running on the Taito Big Net board, the second title for the system. Development is noted as 50% complete.
The game continues the signature shot and lock-on laser gameplay from previous titles like Rayforce and Raystorm. Players can choose between two distinct aircraft, the WRO-1R, which resembles the R-Gray-1 and features a wide shot and homing lasers capable of locking onto multiple targets for score multipliers, and the WRO-2R, similar to the R-Gray-2, equipped with movable lasers and a powerful thunder laser with even more lock-on capability. The core mechanic involves placing a lock-on sight over enemies and then firing guided lasers with the B button. A unique system called the invasion rate affects progression. As the game's network is invaded, this rate increases. If it reaches 100% during the game, the player is forced directly to the final boss. Otherwise, the game proceeds through a sequence of stages, starting with the host computer stage, followed by 3 randomly selected environments, before potentially reaching the final boss. The story delves into a neural network system called Con-Human that blurs human and machine boundaries, leading to the protagonist's consciousness being absorbed, and the system deciding to eliminate humanity. The game features impressive visuals and tension, leveraging the LegNet board's capabilities, including a new data save function linked to name entry. The screenshots display intense vertical scrolling action with multiple enemies and complex lock-on patterns. This page provides a report on the Daytona USA 2 tournament held on August 29th at Shinjuku Sportsland. The event, featuring Sega's popular racing game running on the Model 3 Step 2 board with support for up to 16 players, attracted significant attention, especially as it fell on the last weekend of summer vacation. A large crowd of participants and spectators gathered, showcasing high-level play with qualifying laps consistently in the 16-second range. The tournament utilized 5 monitors for live broadcasting, allowing attendees to enjoy the action via the Sega Sports Channel setup. The main focus is on the intense final race. Despite the bad weather associated with a nearby typhoon, the excitement level was high.
The top 3 finishers were Risky-san in first place, Ayer-san as runner-up, and D. Hill-san in third. M2 Lab presented special certificates to the top 3 players, commenting on the high skill level and thrilling competition, confirming that Daytona USA 2 is truly exciting for player-versus-player matches. Adding to the fan dedication, a custom-built Subaru Alcyon, painted to resemble the Phantom car from the game, was displayed at the venue, drawing considerable attention from the crowd.
This page provides a detailed look at Sega's upcoming network fighting action game, Spike Out, running on the Model 3 Step 2 board. The focus here is on the opposing force, the enemy team. The game takes place in Dieseltown, which is overrun by various gangs. While the protagonist's team, Spike, is known as the strongest, they believe their conflict is limited to their 4 members. However, influenced by the command of the Team Inferno, other teams, particularly the prominent Team Devilock, begin clashing with Spike's team, escalating the conflict. The page introduces Team Devilock members, showcasing individual character renders for number 1 through number 6, highlighting their unique designs and providing brief descriptions of their fighting styles or personalities. Screenshots display the intense 3D combat, the game's digital battle online network play capabilities allowing for cooperative play, and a map overview showing Stage 1, Area 1. A notable point highlighted is the collaboration with a real-world popular street brand, Devilock, for the enemy character costumes, adding a realistic and stylish touch to their appearance. The page emphasizes that the character models are distinct from games like Virtua Fighter, possessing a rougher, more dynamic feel. Attention is also drawn to the strategic element of positioning on the detailed stage layouts. The results of the Denu Senki Virtual On Present quiz are announced, delayed due to preparation. The quiz drew a massive 829 applications across various categories. Winners are listed for Garage Kits, 94% correct, Kawara, Tapestries, 96% correct, Amber IV, Oratan Poster Sets, 87% correct, 22 people,
Collection figures, 95% correct. Avion. Limited Teleka, 83% correct. Arino Butaka. And Virtual-On posters, 99.9% correct. Temjin. Each category shows several winners with their prefectures, demonstrating a wide geographic distribution in Japan. Due to the high number of correct entries, the development team will randomly select 20 additional winners from those who answered correctly, awarding them postcard sets or stickers. The announcement is accompanied by artwork of Virtual-On mechs. This page dives into the highly anticipated final showdown for the Virtual-On Operation Moongate National Tournament, set to take place on September 27th at the Oda City Industrial Plaza Payo. Sponsored by PepsiCo, this event brings together the 66 top pilots who survived the intense qualifiers. The page provides a fascinating breakdown of the Virtualoids they will be using, showcasing the variety of machines like Temjin, Raiden, Feiyan, Angelon, and variants of APH-ARMD, with a few unique choices like Grisbach and Spacinef making the cut. Attendees can expect more than just high-level competition. The event features appearances by legendary mechanical designer Hajime Katoki and actress/singer Tomoko Yamaguchi, offering fans a chance to see key figures behind the game. For collectors, there will be exclusive limited merchandise available for purchase, featuring new items different from previous events. PepsiCo is also providing free Pepsi for attendees, adding another bonus.
Following up on the previous page's quiz results, examples of the postcard and sticker prizes are shown. The page also teases a special, yet-to-be-announced event planned for the end, promising a grand finale with the guests and development staff. It's clear this final tournament is designed to be a thrilling experience for all Virtual-On fans. This page features a weekly horoscope and fortune-telling section presented by Mother Hakozaki, active since 9/25 and running through 9/31. Illustrated alongside a brief introduction, Mother Hakozaki is noted for her extensive experience. The lucky person of the week is Yamaguchi Sena from the game Oju-sama Tokyu, highlighted with a screenshot. For her, money luck is poor, health is good with care, work/study benefits from seeing things through, and love might involve rebuilding from friendships. The core of the page provides detailed weekly fortunes for all 12 zodiac signs, covering both boy and girl, separately, with symbolic illustrations. Each sign section includes its date range, a summary of the week's outlook, and a lucky key item or action. The fortune level for each sign is indicated by a simple color key at the bottom of the page, denoting excellent, normal, or less favorable conditions. This page features the reader submission Saturn Secret Technique Corner, dedicated to user-submitted tips and cheats for SEGA Saturn games. The focus is on finding and sharing secret techniques that enhance gameplay. Featured prominently is the Capcom Generation Volume 1, Age of the Ace Pilot Collection. One tip reveals how to start the game 1943 Kai in a powered-up state. It requires entering specific commands at the beginning of each round, with different inputs depending on whether you are playing as Player 1 or Player 2. A table details the necessary commands for up to 16 rounds. Another tip for the same collection explains how to unlock a sound remix mode in the options menu, offering arranged music versions from the arcade. This mode becomes available after clearing a certain number of stages, but the setting resets when the console is turned off. The page also includes a tip for the tactical RPG Black/Matrix. It provides a useful trick allowing players to change a unit's standby mode during the enemy's turn simply by pressing the B button, offering strategic flexibility. Rewards are offered for submitted tips, including SEGA Saturn software titles and book vouchers, encouraging readers to share their discoveries. The section actively seeks submissions for secret techniques for a wide range of Saturn games, encompassing both the latest releases and nostalgic favorites. This page is the SEGA Saturn Weekly Soft Review, offering trial plays and impressions of games expected to release within the next week, featuring perspectives from female users, assigned staff writers, and guest writers. 2 games are under review. First, Hatsukoi Monogatari, a romance simulation game. It's described as having a simple system and updated graphics from its PC Engine original, though some feel the visuals could be better. Reviews note the gameplay can become repetitive, lacking excitement despite allowing players to choose their first love partner from different eras and girls. The average score is 5.0. The second game featured is Backginner, Yomigeru Yushitachi Uragiri no Senju, a simulation RPG. This is the second part of a series, praised for its high-quality anime presentation and story setup,
feeling very much like watching an anime series. However, criticisms are raised about the lack of unique accents or deeper elements, particularly finding the battle system somewhat cheap, and the overall gameplay needing more engagement. The average score is 6.33. A small section at the bottom introduces the reviewers and their personal gaming preferences. This page continues the SEGA Saturn Weekly Soft Review section, presenting impressions from female users, staff writers, and guest reviewers. Featured is Sakura Tsushin, Remaking Memories, an adventure game. Reviewers noted it lacked sufficient excitement, despite an interesting time-based progression system and multiple endings. Critiques pointed to graphics that didn't live up to the source material, and an overall thin experience. It received an average score of 4.33. Next is Densha to Go X, an arcade port of the train simulator. While the core gameplay was solid, and the option for a dedicated controller was a plus, the visuals were found to be rough and sometimes hampered visibility. The inclusion of X routes was a highlight, and it was generally considered a well-made simulation accessible to different skill levels, achieving an average score of 6.0. Also reviewed is the King of Fighters Best Collection, compiling King of Fighters 95, 96, and 97. Praised as an excellent value package for fans, it brings together classic teams and a wide roster of characters from Stunk's fighting game history, including fighters from Art of Fighting and Fatal Fury. It's highly recommended for King of Fighters enthusiasts. The page also features the Mobile Suit Gundam Jiren's Greed Strategy Guide, a supplemental credrom for the main strategy game. This provides helpful data like battlefield scenarios and game information, serving as a valuable resource for both series veterans and those new to Jiren's Greed. This page is all about giving back to the readers, featuring the SEGA Saturn Magazine Readers Present campaign. They're offering up some cool prizes. Up for grabs are SEGA Saturn games, a Sagata Sanshiro mascot strap, a true icon, the excellent arcade puzzle game Boosta-Move 2X, known as Puzzle Bobble 2X in Japan, stylish t-shirts from the unique Game Pen Trisalon, and a helpful pocket guide for Atsumete Godzilla Kaiju Deishugu, which translates roughly to Gathered Godzilla Monster Collection. Readers could enter by answering a survey via postcard with a deadline of October 9th. The page also lists the lucky winners from the giveaways in the September 11th and September 18th issues. This page features NEC Interchannel presenting two distinct love stories for the SEGA Saturn. The prominent artwork showcases the main heroines and characters from both titles. On the left, we see information for Welcome to Pia Carrot 2, a popular visual novel and dating simulation game. It was scheduled for release on October 8th, priced at 7,200 yen on 2 crodroms. The surrounding screenshots provide glimpses into the game's romantic and lighthearted scenes, featuring the cast of characters working at the Pia Carrot restaurant. On the right, the page highlights Friends, another romance title also released by NEC Interchannel. This game was slated for an autumn 1998 release, also priced at 7,200 yen across 2 croods. The artwork and screenshots suggest a focus on character interactions and emotional storytelling, typical of the genre. Both games were set to be showcased at the Tokyo Game Show 98 autumn, indicating they were significant releases for the publisher that season. The page serves as an exciting preview for fans of romance and visual novels on the SEGA Saturn platform. This page features a dramatic preview of the upcoming horror title, D2. The striking artwork depicts the game's ominous setting, with a glowing earth beneath a fiery sky and a large red D2 graphic dominating the space. The page introduces the game's premise. Something terrifying lies beneath the frozen soil in Canada, and now it is awake. It sets the scene at Christmas 1999, beginning with protagonist Laura experiencing a strange encounter during an aircraft flight, involving a meteorite and hostile figures. After crash landing in a snowy mountain, she is rescued by a woman named Kimberly, and they face dreadful mutants or monsters. The text poses questions about the cause of the accident and the transformation of people into monsters, promising a horrifying story and tragic destinies as the mystery unfolds. Notably, the page states that D2 is coming in winter and runs under Dreamcast, indicating it's a game for Sega's next console, not the Saturn, despite appearing in SEGA Saturn Magazine. The vertical text on the right confirms this is from the October 9, 1998 issue, Volume 28, and briefly mentions other features like an exclusive scoop on the DC-compatible board, Naomi.